Hello and welcome everyone back to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan softball live here from Alumni Field. My name is Charlie Brigham alongside me, Owen Crain, and we have the rubber match of this weekend, three-game series between the Michigan Wolverines and their arch rivals, the Ohio State Buckeyes. Owen, how you doing today?
I'm good, Charlie. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. The weather just keeps getting better and better. Yesterday when Adam Bressler and I were on the call, it was a cool 73 degrees at game time. It's a little bit colder today, but it's much more comfortable.
It's comfortable. The wind is blowing. It's a great baseball, or rather softball for that matter, environment. Sorry about that. And, of course, arch rival game. We've got the alumni band at Alumni Field today. I think it's the perfect environment for a softball game, and hopefully we can see Michigan take the series today.
We saw Ohio State take game number 1 on Friday, 6-2. Yesterday, Michigan got them back. Went all the way to the bottom of the 7th inning. Taylor Bump walked it off with a 2-run triple, and it was quite the exciting close to that one. So, as we mentioned, the rubber match today, just moments away from this game getting underway. It's going to be Megan Bobian back in the circle for the Michigan Wolverines. On the side of Ohio State, it will be Emily Ruck, the right-handed sophomore. So it's going to be a bit of a pitcher's duel today. Ruck and Bobian, very similar ERAs. Ruck sitting at 2.73, Bobian's at 2.23. But, I mean, we saw yesterday she didn't have really the put-out pitch to, strike out very many Ohio State hitters, but she was consistent. Had players putting it in play and hitting it right to her defenders, just putting trust in her defense. She had multiple innings where she kept it under 10 total pitches.
And this is a Michigan defense who gets the job done. Michigan softball, they're having a solid season, maybe not performing to the level we expected of them. And if that's so, I would say it's the offense rather than the defense. The defense has held solid so far this year. We haven't really seen many high-scoring games. And just going back to that walk-off yesterday afternoon, which I know you and Adam Bressler were on the call for, I was over at Ray Fisher Stadium, our baseball complex here, for those of you unfamiliar, on the call for baseball. And we've got a great view of the softball field, and this place looked absolutely electric. The baseball fans, they stood up, gave a standing ovation as we watched the walk-off happen, and hopefully we can recreate that energy here in this complex.
The energy in the complex was the highest I've seen it in a very, very long time. Both stadiums were pretty much sold out, packed to the brim. And, I mean, like you said, just the energy was at an all-time high. Both sides sending support back and forth as Joe Stewart for the Michigan baseball team had a career day for sure. 3 home runs, 2 grand slams, and 11 RBIs. I mean, he was unconscious.
Oh, my God. It was amazing. 11 RBIs is normally what you hope for in a season. In a successful college season, you might come away with 11 RBIs. That man did it in one day. A graduate student. He transferred from MSU for this season. Played 4 successful seasons at MSU. Put on just absolutely a show against his alma mater when they played in the series last weekend. And then yesterday just lit up Ohio State's pitching. Ohio State's pitching was kind of depleted. They kept putting in pitchers with 6, 7, even 8 ERAs. But Joe Stewart absolutely took advantage of it, came away with 11 RBIs, 4 hits, and 6 appearances. What a game he had. Hopefully some of his magic trickled. The wind blew it over to Alumni Field today as the Wolverines take on Ohio State here in softball.
And talk about putting on a show against Ohio State. How about Taylor Bump yesterday? Obviously had the 2-run triple to walk things off, an incredible moment. But she was solid in all aspects of her game yesterday, flashing the leather in the hot corner all game long, something she's been incredible at. I mean, since the very first game down in Tampa against Kansas City, making diving catches, she just hasn't taken her foot off the gas. And it should be a very, very exciting close to her college season as we are starting to really wind down. Michigan has this home series to close out against Ohio State. Next weekend, they've got a home series against Minnesota. Then they go to Madison, Wisconsin to face off against the Badgers. And then it's time for the Big Ten tournament. Then it's postseason play. So we are knocking on the door here as the fans here in Alumni Field start the Let's Go Blue chants. Megan Bobian takes her place in the circle, and we are just about underway.
I think we have to speak to the energy at Alumni Field. Michigan fans are the best fans in the country because they bring the energy to every facility. It's not just the Big House. It's not just Chrysler. It's not just Yost. But every facility you go to where the Wolverines are playing, the Wolverine faithful are out in force, making noise, bringing that energy. Yeah, I bet even at our tennis facility, there's noise during the breaks in play. Because truly, it's so special to be a Michigan Wolverine and to cheer on this team, and that's coming through at our packed alumni field today. We are close to a sellout crowd, especially in the outfield.
As I mentioned, it is going to be Megan Beaubien in the circle as usual. Hannah Carson behind the plate. And then left to right in the infield, it's Bump, McVeigh, Livingston, and Lexi Blair over there at first base. And then left to right in the outfield, it's Ellie Sieler in left, Christina Burkhart in center. And then over there rounding things out in right field is Audrey LeClaire. Talk about a player who had an impact yesterday. We mentioned Taylor Bump on the offensive end, but Ellie Sieler's defensive prowess in left field was just absolutely incredible. She had the web gem catch, diving into foul territory, but even the little things, even times where she didn't get the out, she was still putting her body on the line to keep things in front of her and keep Ohio State base runners honest. And, you know, in a close-scoring game like that comes down literally to the last swing of the bat, those are the plays you need.
Yeah, absolutely. That is one of the biggest strengths of this Wolverines program. And, again, if they can do that today, I'm confident that they can emerge with the win here and emerge with the series win. So Melina Wilkinson will lead off for OSU. She's batting with a .360 average on the season in 100 at-bats, 36 hits. So, well, we'll see if she puts a dent here, gets on base to start off the game for the Buckeyes.
Wilkinson, the freshman, got the better of the Wolverines in game number 1, 3 for 4 with a double, a home run, and an RBI yesterday. Couldn't really find that same spark. First pitch on the way from Beaubien is a changeup, and this one's popped up. It's in foul territory, covering a lot of. It's got to drop down fair. An awkward bounce goes over the head of Melina Livingston as she dives for it, and that one's going to drop down as I guess a double. An awkward little play. It looked like it was tailing foul. Livingston covered all sorts of ground to get to it, but then when she put her body on the line, she had kind of messed up Audrey LeClaire's footwork, who had to run around her.
Yeah, a little tough because Blair was chasing after it, a little bit confusion. Audrey LeClaire chasing after it too. They might have lost it in the sun because it just bounced the shallow right field, and she'll make it to second base. So Buckeyes with one on second, no outs.
Following the awkward little double, that's going to bring up J.C. Roberti, the senior. Roberti saw one at-bat yesterday in a pinch hit appearance. Got the starting crack today, so she's going to look to get things going, as you mentioned, Owen, with a runner in scoring position and no outs here in Ann Arbor. Infield playing in. The windup from Beaubien on 0-1. This one catching the outside corner for a called strike 2. Wind blowing to dead away center. We saw it kind of change directions all day yesterday. It definitely had an effect on balls like that one we just saw, who hang up in the air for a long time. The 0-2 pitch from Beaubien. A changeup gets her to dribble one towards, right back at her. And a nice play at third base. Beaubien makes the read.
So Beaubien will throw to third as Wilkinson attempts to run from second to third. She's called out on the tag. And a very nice tag there. Laying it is third baseman Taylor Bump. The Buckeye faithful not happy with that call. That was definitely a close one, and I'd be interested to see the TV review there.
A bang-bang play right in front of the Ohio State Buckeye fans who made the drive up from Columbus. Obviously, 9 times out of 10, they're going to have some disputes with that call, and Ohio State is already out and arguing with home plate umpire James Connors.
So after that momentary pause, that'll leave the Wolverines now in a much better position. 1 on, 1 out. Buckeyes with a runner on first now.
Roberti will get credit for the fielder's choice, so she's over there on first base, as you mentioned. 1 out and 1 runner on. Beaubien's delivery to Sam Hockenbrack is dribbled down the third base line. That one will go foul.
And Hockenbrack also having herself a strong season. 23 hits and 115 appearances. The .374 batting average. So Ohio State with some hot bats early on in the lineup.
Still just thinking back to that last at-bat where Roberti put that ball in play. I mean, Wilkinson, the play before had, incredible heads-up base running to take second base as Beaubien puts a changeup in the dirt for ball number 1. But then that one just seemed almost like a lapse of judgment. That ball got hit right back at Beaubien, and she just took off for third.
And That was a good play by Beaubien. If she hesitated another millisecond, I think it's very possible that Wilkinson would have been safe on that slide.
Beaubien to deliver on 1-1. That one just missing inside for ball number 2. Roberti over there at first base. 2 stolen bags on the season. He's been caught once. You know, Hannah Carson's got the arm behind the plate. Interested to see if the Buckeyes try to test her. The windup from Beaubien on the 2-1. This one popped foul, and that's going to ricochet off the net and into the Ohio State dugout. Beaubien getting the starting nod again today. Through pretty much the entire game yesterday, was pulled in the beginning of the 7th inning. Lauren Jorkowski came in to try and close things off. Ohio State put a couple more on her. Beaubien re-entered to finish the game and got things done.
She's just got a fantastic arm.
2-2 changeup, hit fouled on the third base line. Hockenbrack was way out in front of that one. All the weight was on the front foot, just kind of threw the hands at it at the last second.
She was reaching there. The off-speed threw her off of it, and she just had to foul it off.
Megan Beaubien's coveted changeup that she's made so famous throughout her tenure here at Michigan. Beaubien checks the wristband. The 2-2 on the way. Swung on and missed. Beaubien goes low and outside, and he gets Hockenbrack to wave at it. That is now 2 outs. And the Buckeyes in danger of leaving a base runner stranded.
Beaubien brought some heat with that pitch there. That speed just really threw off Hockenbrack, who just couldn't get her bat on the ball.
That will bring up the cleanup hitter, Nikki Carver. Carver seemed to have Beaubien's number yesterday, was battering the ball all around the outfield as she gets called for strike number 1, a changeup on the outside half. The Michigan outfield showing some respect to Carver's power. 10 home runs on the season. They're playing a couple steps in front of the warning track. Beaubien's 0-1 tried to go back to the same spot. This one missing a little bit low, and we're going to even out the count.
So 1-1, 2 outs, 1 runner on first. The Wolverines in a solid defensive position at the moment.
You see batting practice being started over there at Ray Fisher Stadium. That game will start at 1 p.m. today. Beaubien on 1-1. That one right down Broadway for a called strike 2. Beaubien is humming here in inning number 1.
Home plate umpire, James Connors. He likes to take his time on calling those strikes at first. He'll wait a moment before raising his fist.
Carver settles back in. All the way on the back right leg. The 1-2 pitch from Beaubien. Changeup hit hard. And that one's going to be a line drive that gets through the infield.
So that's a single. Drifts out to left field, rolling. That said, left fielder Ellie Sieler able to recover quickly, get it back to the infield to hold the runners at first and second, respectively. So the Wolverines now, 2 outs, 2 on for the Buckeyes. And Michigan's pitching coach will come out to make some adjustments.
Carver stays hot against Beaubien. That's the kind of contact we saw her make all day yesterday, just keeping her composure, waiting for a pitch to drive, and that one just scorches past the outstretched arm of Taylor bumping into the outfield. So when we resume play, it will be Mackenzie Bump up at the plate. The left-handed sophomore, she'll have a bit of work to do. 2 runners on, 1 in scoring position, and 2 outs.
Something to note, just during the timeout, this is a team that's a very cohesive unit. A lot of camaraderie among these players. And you can see it on the field, for those of you who aren't familiar with the Michigan softball program.
Fresh count on Bump. First one, a called strike in the outside half. Beaubien in her usual routine, walks to the back of the circle. Now will settle in on the mound. Checks the wristband. Now here's the windup on the 0-1 advantage. That one a changeup. Tried to go back to that outside corner, but James Connors didn't give her the call that time. We'll go 1-1. Bump, a .347 hitter on the season. 2 home runs and 14 RBIs to her name. Potential to do some damage here with 2 runners on. Beaubien's 1-1, a rise ball that goes way high and outside. Hannah Carson's going to have to jump up to reel that one in.
So with regard to base runners, the Buckeyes don't seem to be trying anything right now. Always, of course, risky with 2 outs to try and send someone to third. They're counting on the hit.
Beaubien's 2-1. This one a changeup that gets it a wave. I mean, you just can't commend Megan Beaubien's changeup enough. It is just devastating.
Oh, that off speed will get you. And in this regard, it did get bumped. So 2-2 now.
Beaubien looking for the payoff pitch. 2 outs, 2 strikes, and this one's fouled off. We'll do it again.
She'll go with the fastball there. Really a lot of speed, and sometimes you forget, just for those of you listening on the radio, if you're not too familiar with softball, softball is played on the same size field as a Little League field, so these fast pitches are really coming at you when you're at home plate.
2-2 pitch on the way from Megan Beaubien. Change up again, pops it up. It won't stay in play, ricochets off the net, so Taylor Bump won't have a shot at it. Mackenzie Bump doing a nice job extending this at-bat here. Taylor Bump yesterday worked a 12-pitch at-bat against Lexi Hanley. Eventually, Hanley got the better of her, striking her out on pitch number 12, but that seemed to go on forever. Beaubien's 2-2, another changeup. This one just missing low. Carson held it for an extra half second.
Yeah, Carson did a great job framing that pitch too, but Connor isn't fooled. It was a little low in the zone. Could have gone either way, however. That'll bring us to a full count.
Bump standing tall on the left-hand side. Lefty on lefty matchup. Full count pitch, 2 outs. Beaubien just misses outside.
And so that at-bat is a credit to Bump's ability to wait, foul off the pitches she doesn't want, but protect the strike zone. Once she gets two strikes, you know that strike zone expands a little bit. You got to swing it more. She fouls them off until she gets the 3 balls. And Beaubien isn't a pitcher who will give you that many balls, so the fact that Bump was able to get a walk for Beaubien is just a testament to her abilities behind the plate.
It's going to be bases loaded now with 2 outs. Beaubien saw a similar situation yesterday, but was able to work herself out of it. First pitch on the way to quarter cracks is a called strike on the outside corner.
She'll go with the fastball there.
Kimmy Quartercracks, another bat in this Buckeye lineup, sitting at over 300 on the year, just over 301. This one hit deep down the right field line, and that one's going to tail foul into the corner.
That ball had been fair. Might have had a chance to score 2-3. Right fielder Audrey LeClaire was chasing after it, but might have drifted just over her head if it was placed just a few feet to the left.
Yeah, LeClaire got a good jump on it, but it did just tail right at that foul pole.
Now the wind, of course, we've shifted directions. It was blowing straight outfield. Now it's kind of pushing towards right field.
Following the long strike, Beaubien way out in front. 0-2 pitch on the way. That one's going to be a ball just too far outside. Quartercracks wanted that one. You could see her leaning in that direction. But she'll settle back in, still down in this count. Count goes 1-2.
Quartercracks batting .301 on the season. So a solid force at the plate, but
1-2 pitch. Beaubien goes back to the changeup. This one drops down, a one-hopper into the hands of the left fielder, Ellie Sieler. Throws home, and 2 runs are going to score as Sieler bobbled it and left.
An unfortunate bobble from Sieler will lead to 2 scoring for the Buckeyes. We'll have runners on first and third off that single there from Cammie Quartercracks.
The first defensive mishap we've seen from the freshman in quite some time. And the Buckeyes capitalize on it. Bases loaded. Now runners on the corners and 2 runs across here in the top of the first inning.
And an unfortunate mishap to have, too, because bobbling a ball, it happens. Not a big deal, just in a bases loaded environment. Each bobble costs a run.
Fresh count now on the way as Taylor Pack steps up to the plate. First pitch just below her knees for ball number 1. Beaubien takes a quick second, grabs the rosin bag, and now we'll reset. Pack crouched down low on that left-hand side. Beaubien's 1-0 on the way. That one right down the plate for call strike 1. Carson was up and ready to fire down to second if Quartercracks tried to take a shot at bag number 2. Decent speed over there on first with Quartercracks. Deep breath from Beaubien. Now here's the delivery. Rise ball missing high and outside for ball 2.
So we see Beaubien drop to her knees after the pitch as catcher Hannah Carson gets ready to throw just in case Quartercracks is going to go to second. We haven't seen her shift as if she's going to yet.
2-1 pitch from Megan Beaubien. Goes back to the off-speed, and that one fouled off the left shoulder of Hannah Carson. And she'll take a quick walk into the infield to shake that one off. We're tied up at 2-2. 2 outs and runners on the corners, and Quartercracks and bump. The wind-up and delivery from Beaubien. This one, change-up that misses a little bit high. And Quartercracks is going to take second for free. Now 2 runners in scoring position. Full count and 2 outs for Taylor Pack up at the plate.
Taylor Pack at .250 average on the season. Full count.
Deep breath from Beaubien. Now here's the windup. The payoff pitch, popped up foul.
That's going to go over the netting and is caught by a fan.
Nice grab with the laptop in his lap too.
He's got the laptop. He one-handed it. Very nice. I wonder what he's working on back there. You got prime seating, my guy.
How stressed do you have to be writing an essay at a softball game when it's 75 degrees outside?
Let me tell you, right now on deadline, I should be writing one.
Beaubien's full count pitch is hit foul again. LeClaire will run down into the corner and toss it back in. We're going to reset and do this full count pitch once more.
So a good job fouling off those 2 pitches. She didn't necessarily want to hit them, but she's protecting, waiting for another ball. They don't come often, but with enough fouls, it will.
Beaubien, full count pitch, misses low in the zone. Made it a little bit past Carson. The runner at third thought about it for a second, but now it's going to be bases loaded for the second time this inning, and that's going to bring up Oddie.
So Maggie Oddie, .246 on the season. She'll step up to the plate. Hasn't stepped into the box quite just yet. Now Oddie, 122 at-bats this season for 30 hits. She's got herself 5 home runs as well and 25 RBIs. A chance to earn some more here with the bases loaded.
Ohio State up 2-0 here in the top of the first inning. Beaubien gets this one. It's going to, what a play by Belita Livingston. She fielded it, kept it in the infield, tried to backhand to first, but throws it too wide for Lexi Blair. 2 more runs are going to score.
What an unfortunate break for the Buckeyes there, or rather unfortunate for the Wolverines and a lucky break for the Buckeyes because that was just fantastic defensive fielding from second baseman Melina Livingston with the backhand. But then she goes to flip it to the first baseman. She'll miss it, and Lexi Blair just can't stretch enough to grab the ball. Buckeyes will double their lead to 4. We'll have runners on first and second now.
And with that, we are going to have a pitching change, so Beaubien's day not quite done. She's going to be attributed for both runners on second and third, but the Wolverines are going to elect to bring in Annabelle Wedra. So not the start you would have liked if you're Michigan.
And frankly, Ohio State just had Beaubien's number today. If they weren't hitting her, they were fouling enough off to get the walk. She's really not one to throw that many balls, but they kept fouling off, protecting at the plate. They had strong at-bats.
Ohio State just doing a great job staying disciplined, and it pays off. Again, a fantastic flash of the glove from Melina Livingston to keep the ball in the infield. It looked like Michigan was going to get out of that inning with minimal damage. But the errant throw scores 2 more. Now, as we mentioned, 2 runners in scoring position, and Ohio State has a chance to put more across.
So I talked about the Michigan defense and how strong they are at the start of the game, but of course, 2 errors logged on the scoreboard for the Wolverines. That bobble out in left field, and now an errant throw from second to first on the backhand, trying to make things quick. Well, those combined will cost the Wolverines 4 runs now. I believe all 4 runs have scored with 2 outs on the board, if I'm correct.
So Weidra will take her time and get set. Again, both runners on will be attributed to Megan Beaubien, so this really the first at-bat that matters for Weidra. First pitch on the way to Caitlin Farley is a called strike in the outside corner. The freshman Weidra doing a nice job getting ahead in the count early. Farley is the 9 hitter, so it's 9, then back up to Wilkeson at the top of the order. Weedra's 0-1 pitch. This one popped up towards the left-hand side, covering a lot of ground in foul territory as Ellie Sieler in a nice grab on the run to finally end the inning, but not before the Ohio State Buckeyes put 4 across in the top of the first.
So Weidra comes in, gets the job done. I believe that catch was made in foul territory. A pop fly into deep left on the foul side. Ellie Sieler can seal the deal. However, of course, an error from her in left, and with that bobble, an error at second will cost the Wolverines at least 3. I think 1 run could have scored first on that bobble, but then with the bobble you get 1. With the errant throw you get another 2. So a little bit of damage done here to the Wolverines. Nothing they can't recover from, however. Have to wait and see how their bats are.
They've definitely got some work to do. As we mentioned before, it's going to be Emily Ruck, the right-hander, in the circle for the Ohio State Buckeyes. A 2.73 ERA this season in just over 43 innings pitched. The lineup for Michigan when they get out there on the attack, it's going to be Christina Burkhart leading things off, followed by Lexi Blair and Melina Livingston batting 3rd. After that batting cleanup, it's Hannah Carson, followed by Taylor Bump batting 5th. And then the aforementioned freshman Ellie Sieler hitting 6th, Audrey LeClaire 7th. And then Ella Mcveigh and Annabelle Weidra rounding things out at spots 8 and 9. Burkhart has been the red-hot bat in this Michigan lineup all year long, average hovering just under 400. We saw it flash up to as high as 403 yesterday, sitting at 397 right now. And she's going to look to get things going. Michigan in the all-white uniforms today. Ohio State in gray with scarlet socks.
So Burkhart will step up to the box. Ohio State's not quite ready. She's out there taking a few practice swings. Catcher Taylor Pack will head behind the plate. Pack, of course, worked that walk earlier. And Burkhart waiting before she steps in the box. Emily Ruck not quite ready on the mound yet. And, of course, Coach Hutchinson has made it to third base.
Nikki Carver and Mackenzie Bump on the corners playing a few steps in front of the bag. First pitch from Ruck skips into the glove of Pack for ball number 1.
That one low and outside, but coming in with some speed. And Burkhart having herself a season at bat, 397 batting average so far.
Ruck checks the signs. Now will deliver on 1-0, and that one again missing low and outside in the dirt, skipping up into the glove of Pack. We mentioned it a few times yesterday, but what a pickup Christina Burkhart was for the Michigan Wolverines. A graduate transfer from UNC in her last year of eligibility. Last year was a second-team All-ACC player, and has looked like a first-team All-Big Ten player this year.
She'll work the count to 3-0. That pitch again hitting the same spot as the first one, low and outside. Burkhart on that second pitch, she started running forward as if she was going to bunt. And she's not going to give you home runs. She has no home runs on the season, but she's brought us 25 RBIs here.
3-0 pitch on the way to Burkhart. That one a called strike in the outside corner. Ruck still yet to get one towards the middle of the plate, and that's what Burkhart's going to be looking for here on a 3-1 hitter's count. Lexi Blair getting her timing on deck. The 3-1. That one rides inside this time and hits Christina Burkhart in that front right elbow.
She's got the padding. Hopefully didn't sneak under there. So the Wolverines will take one to base, and Burkhart's going to walk down the line a little bit, just shaking it off in the arm.
Looks like it might have hit her in the forearm, just a bit above that elbow guard.
Yeah. Now the game is called softball, but these balls aren't quite soft enough to not leave a bruise. That one might sting for a little while. However, looking at it purely from the Wolverines' perspective, runner on base, no outs. Lexi Blair steps up to the plate.
First pitch to Blair, high and outside for ball number 1. Burkhart can fly around the base pass, 10 stolen bags this year. We saw her take second on her first time reaching first yesterday. Corners of the infield playing up. The 1-0 delivery to Blair. That one again missing low, and now Taylor Pack, the catcher, will go have a quick mound meeting with Emily Ruck.
Ruck just not hitting her spots so far. 1 strike and 7 pitches, I think.
As you hear the alumni band over there on the left field wall.
I like it. You know, I'm not always the biggest fan of bands, but I love this song, and it's a great way to get the crowd back in this game down 4-0 here in the bottom of the first.
Two-0 count here for Lexi Blair as she settles in. The delivery from Ruck, check swing. And they're not going to appeal. They just call it ball number 3. So for the second straight at bat, Ruck's let the Michigan Headers get all the way out in front. So the wind has shifted, blowing right back into the faces of the Michigan hitters. The 3-0 pitch to Blair. Call the strike in the outside corner. This at-bat very reminiscent of the last.
So absolutely a hitter's count right now with the 3-1.
Burkhart ready to explode over there at first base. The back left leg on the bag as Lexi Blair tips the 3-1 into the glove of Taylor Back. The count now full. The wind has shifted once more, now blowing out towards dead center field in Ray Fisher Stadium.
It's all over the place today.
Full count pitch to Blair. This one above her head and popped up in the infield. Plenty of time to settle under it for quarter cracks, and that's going to be out number 1.
So coming from the hitter's count there, a tough way to end that at bat with the pop out to short. So 1 out now. Burkhart keeping her spot on first base, and Melina Livingston will step up to the plate for the Wolverines.
Both transfer students for the Maize and Blue looking to get things done here. The transfer from UNC over at first. Melina Livingston, the in-conference transfer from Penn State, as she swings on pitch number 1 and hits it into the stands directly in front of us.
That one's not going to be caught by a fan, but it is recovered. Didn't hit anyone either, so that's all that really matters.
Livingston taking her time, now settles back in. Ruck ahead for the first time today. The count sits at 0-1, and just as I say that, she evens it out. That one, the rise ball, missing up near the eyes. Livingston, a .347 hitter this season. 19 RBIs and 3 home runs to her name. Looking to get something done here. 1-1 count as Livingston swings on this one and pops it up behind the head of Taylor Pack off the net, and now she's down in a 1-2 hole.
Very active nets here at Alumni Field. The ball bounces right off of it back into play. We see the same thing with the padded walls. These balls hit it, they'll come right back at you.
Livingston swings the right shoulder around, trying to stay loose. 1-2 pitch from Ruck. That one high and outside, ball number 2. Burkhart got a decent jump over there at first base. Just trying to keep Pack and the Buckeye defense honest. Two-two pitch from Ruck to Livingston. This one dribbled down the third baseline. It's going to just go foul.
I thought that one was about to stay fair for a moment. Would have been a nice break for the Wolverines.
I think everyone on the maize and blue side was hoping it would, because Livingston got a great jump out of the box, but nice play over there by Mackenzie Bump at third. Just trusting that ball would roll foul.
Livingston's got some speed to her name there. Not the tallest player on the team, but she can run. Burkhart getting a jump at first. We haven't seen any big leads after the pitch is thrown from her yet, but she's ready to go.
2-2 to Livingston. This one rides inside and hits her on the front left elbow. That's now both base runners for Michigan attributed to a hit by pitch.
Ruck really doesn't like these transfer students.
So up to the plate now steps the catcher, Hannah Carson, the third lefty out of the first 4 Michigan hitters, and she's got 2 runners on. It's Burkhart at second, Livingston at first, and only 1 out on the board. Taylor Bump looking on deck. Emily Ruck taking her time, looks over to the dugout for her signs, and now she'll settle in. Fresh count to Carson. Big swing on pitch number 1 and fouls it back into the net.
Carson swinging for the fences. 4 home runs to her name this season, 30 RBIs. Hoping to add to that right now, as are all the Michigan faithful. Runners on first and second for the Wolverines. A pass ball or a stealing opportunity would put the Michigan maize and blue in perfect scoring position.
Ruck to deal on 0-1. This one popped up foul again. This one down the third baseline, however.
And Carson's here to swing. She's putting a lot of power into that swing right now. If she gets a piece of the ball in the right spot, she could do some serious damage.
We mentioned Livingston's speed. A ball in the gap would almost assuredly score Burkhart from second, but could score Livingston as well. Carson now resets on that left-hand side. 0-2 pitch from Ruck on the way. Fouled back again.
And again, a lot of power in that swing, protecting the box. That ball rose high. Probably would have been called for a ball, in fact, but Carson wants a piece of it. Down 0-2 in the count, might as well swing away.
These Michigan hitters have done such a great job all year of just fighting off anything that they think could ring them up, anything that's close, and living to fight another day. The 0-2 again to Carson. That one low and in the zone. It's going to get past Pack.
So that's the break that you need if you're a Wolverine fan right now. Ball drifts to the backstop. And Livingston and Burkhart, respectively, will take a base. So runners now on second and third. 1 out. 1-2 the count. And one of your most powerful hitters at the plate.
2 runners in scoring position for Hannah Carson when she steps back in. The 1-2. This one hit deep towards center field. All the way in the right center gap. Both runners are going to tag. They're going to try to get Livingston at third. The ball overthrows. It's going to make its way towards the Ohio State dugout. And what a heads-up base running play by Melina Livingston. Saw the ball get past the third baseman Bump and gets right up after the head-first slide and takes home on the overthrow.
Electric crowd here at Alumni Field right now. These fans are on their feet. That was great heads-up base running, like you said. And actually, not the most heads-up play from catcher Taylor Pack. She chose not to lay the tag, turning around too late, but the ball was there in time is the funny thing. Around third, ball gets past, hits the backstop, or rather the wall for the Buckeyes dugout. She'll make the heads-up play to run, and the ball gets to Taylor Pack at home in time, but instead of laying the tag, she keeps her hand in the air and is unable to tag. Livingston as she tags home.
That'll clear the bases and bring up Taylor Bump. First pitch her way is a ball just below the belt.
So the Wolverines cut the deficit in half here. And Hannah Carson, what a great sacrifice fly. And paired well with that pass ball as well.
Ruck checks the wristband, now delivers on 1-0. This one again riding inside. It'll be a 2-0 hitters count for Taylor Bump when she steps back in. You got to think every Michigan fan in the stands here today remembers what Taylor Bump managed to do to close things out yesterday with that walk-off 2-run triple.
Oh, absolutely. This packed house just boiling over with excitement right now.
The 2-0 pitch to Taylor Bump. That one again low in the zone. It'll be 3-0 now when she steps back in.
So Ruck, perhaps a little flustered right now, not hitting her spots like she was just a moment ago.
3-0 pitch to Bump. And that one's going to be called for strike number 1 in the outside corner.
Bump looked for a moment like she wanted to go there.
That one could have gone either way, but nobody's going to argue a strike call on 3-0. 3-1 now, and she drills this one to the left center gap. That one's going to drop down. Bump's got at least 2. Sliding into second base, and that's going to be her 9th double of the season. Taylor Bump stays hot here in game number 3 against Ohio State.
So a great hit there from Bump. Some strong defensive play, too, from the Ohio State outfielders. They got the ball to second quite quickly. Bump ended up having to slide. She made it in plenty of time, but these Ohio State outfielders, they'll get there in time, and they've got arms. So Bump puts herself on second. A hit here will score another run, and the Wolverines can come within 1 of tying this game. Of course, 2 outs, not in favor of the Wolverines, but Ellie Sieler, the left fielder, will step up.
As Let's Go Blue chants ring throughout the stadium, the Ohio State Buckeyes decide to have a quick mound meeting and send a pitcher down to the bullpen to get warmed up. It is Allison Smith who came in to try and close things yesterday. And, of course, we know how that one turned out.
You know, I think we need to speak towards the energy of having the band at the field today, too. It really energizes the crowd in a way that the PA can't, and helps just bring up the energy here. So Ellie Sieler will step up with a chance to, again, cut the deficit in half once more. Michigan down 2 to the Buckeyes. The runner in scoring position.
First pitch her way, a called strike in the outside corner. She'll be down in an 0-1 hole. You mentioned Taylor Bump again, situated over there comfortably on second base following the double in the gap just moments ago. Audrey LeClaire looking on deck. The 0-1 pitch now to Sieler. She takes a big swing at it, but comes up empty. Now she's down 0-2.
So big cut there, but down in the count. See if she can fight her way back here.
Sieler to take a defensive approach here on 0-2. That one low in the zone. Not much she has to do as it skips off the dirt and into the glove of Taylor Pack.
And Ruck will step off the mound for a moment. Reset. She's looking to her dugout for a sign.
Sieler settling back in now. The dish, and again missing low.
So a great eye there for Ellie Sieler. Good job protecting. It's easy to get antsy down 0-2 in the count. She's done a good job. If she can foul a few off, she may even be able to earn herself a walk here, as Ruck has been struggling with control in the latter half of this inning.
The 2-2 pitch. This one popped up in foul territory. Plenty of time to settle under it for Nikki Carver, and that's going to do it for the inning. So Michigan able to put 2 across following the sac fly from Hannah Carson, but they're still down 4-2 as we head to the top of the second inning. You're listening to WCBN Sports. It's going to be the top of the order due up for Ohio State. It's Wilkeson up first. She doubled in her first time up, followed by Roberti and then Hockenbrack. And we do have another pitching change. In the circle for the Michigan Wolverines is going to be Alex Storako. So now in just the top of the second, this is the third arm we've seen for the Wolverines thus far. Megan Bobian started things off, led up those 4 runs. Annabelle Wedra came in to close out the top of the first, but Sirocco warming up between innings and now looking to try and keep Ohio State at that 4-run. Ohio State hitters are going to have to adjust. They are now seeing a completely new arm than they have seen thus far in this ball game.
So let's talk for a moment there about that first inning. 6 runs scored between the two programs, more than sometimes you see in a whole game. And if that's emblematic of what we're going to see the rest of the way, we're in for an exciting matchup. Of course, we hope that the Wolverines can close the gap here as the beginning of Hail to the Victors plays. But we'll see if Michigan can hold off the Buckeyes this inning and then maybe close that gap even more in the bottom of the second.
As we just had a between innings injury, Lexi Blair and Taylor Bump are warming up. Lexi Blair sailed to throw Bump's way, and it looked like it hit J.C. Roberti in the face as she was standing in the on-deck circle.
Yeah, that did not, that didn't look good.
That is one of the strangest things I've seen in this ballpark. I obviously hope J.C. Roberti is okay, but what a bizarre sequence of events.
Yeah, I didn't even fully see it. So how did the ball end up over there?
So Michigan was just doing their typical infield warm-up, and Lexi Blair went to throw the ball back to Taylor Bump and just sailed a little bit high and hit J.C. Roberti in the face. She's back out on deck, so she appears to be fine, but
you know, honestly, better to be hit by a thrown ball than a foul ball, but still, no fun.
First pitch from Alex Sirocco is poked into the outfield. That one's going to drop down. Wilkinson tried to take second base. The throw and just barely getting into second. She saw 2 out of the box, and Michigan was kind of caught off guard.
Yeah, Michigan didn't seem fully ready for that. Left fielder Ellie Sieler made it in time, and a powerful throw from her will just come up short. Still good defensive attempt from the Wolverines, but Buckeyes land with 1 on second, no outs.
Bunt from Roberti gets down. Bump doing a nice job to come up, field it on the run, and get the runner at first. But that's going to advance the runner to third. So now 2 pitches into the inning, and there's 1 out, and Ohio State's got a runner on third base.
Roberti did a good job laying that down the third base line. That brought in third baseman Taylor Bump, of course, and of course she fielded it very easily, but that allowed for Melina Wilkinson to take third.
First pitch we've seen taken this inning is to Sam Hockenbrack, a changeup from Sirocco that misses up near her eyes. Sirocco spins the ball on the right hand, now delivers on 1-0 and gets her to wave at it. Hockenbrack struck out swinging her first time up. As now Allison Smith comes in from the Ohio State bullpen. 1-1 from Sirocco. This one a changeup, fouled back over the backstop, so now she's ahead 1-2.
The Wolverines in a precarious defensive position right now. Of course, a runner on third, just 1 out. And Alex Sirocco tasked with keeping Melina Wilkinson from getting home.
The 1-2, this one hit deep towards left field, but well foul. Hockenbrack got all of that one.
What a great hit. 20 feet to the right, you have yourself a 2-run homer.
Nothing more than a long strike, and now Jen Brundage will come out and have a quick word with Sirocco in the circle.
Now, for those of you familiar with Alumni Field, of course, it backs up to a storage facility here. Center field, you've got Ray Fisher Stadium just behind you. Over to your left, behind the scoreboard, is the storage facility, and that ball was off the wall of that building, so hit very well and far. 200 feet are left field and right field lines here. Center field, 222. So Alumni Field, a pretty intimate setting. And that ball just had a lot of power on it. I think it would have made it out over center, too.
The mound meeting ends and Sirocco deals 1-2. Hockenbach fouls it backwards in to the net, so we'll do it again. Hockenbach, a .371 hitter, 12 home runs and 39 RBIs in the season. She just showed off that power moments ago. The 1-2 from Sirocco, changeup. Got her to get way out in front of it, pops it up over towards the ESPN van.
Yeah, I was thinking that might hit their little satellite receiver there. She really pulled that ball, too, almost behind the grandstand, which, again, for those of you who know this field, does not extend that far down the third base line.
1-2 pitch again from Sirocco. Rise ball misses way up. Hannah Carson, a nice athletic play to keep Wilkeson over there at third base.
One of the things I love so much about the game of softball is the cheers, half of them are coming from the players themselves.
2-2 pitch from Alex Sirocco. Again, popped up foul. This one makes its way into the stands.
So a great at-bat here from Hockenbach. She's really fighting these off.
As we heard some oohs, a fan might have gotten hit just out of our vision.
So 2-2 the count still.
Deep breath from Sirocco. Now the delivery. This one popped up foul once more.
And again, she's taken out the ESPN truck back there on the third base line. These are the farthest I've ever seen someone pull balls back behind the grandstand that aren't just tipped back.
Outfield playing about a step in front of the warning track. Infield playing in, trying to get Wilkeson at home. This one hit on the ground. McVeigh's going to fire home to get Wilkeson. The play, what a throw!
She got her. Just a fantastic throw home. The third base coach for the Buckeyes not happy with that call. But credit to Hannah Carson catching a throw that just was not fully on target. She managed to bring the glove in time and tag out Melina Wilkinson as she sprinted home. The Wolverines will stop a run from scoring and shift to 2 outs.
Ohio State immediately unhappy with that call. Wanted obstruction called on Hannah Carson, but she just put herself in a position to make the play, and now we have word from home plate umpire James Connors. It is going to be an out. So a great defensive effort from Ella Mcveigh to get the lead runner.
She was fully out on that play. An interesting choice by Wilkinson to not slide home. Instead, she ran home. If she slid, she might have been able to get under the tag there. Now, Hannah Carson didn't have time to get her glove down, but with Wilkinson in the air, able to tag her out cleanly as she ran home, and the Wolverines keep a run off the board. 4-2 the score still.
Michigan looking to cut the Ohio State momentum here. It's 2 outs now, and Hockenbach on first base with Nikki Carver up the plate. First pitch, Sirocco got her to chase the rise ball. Second, she misses upstairs with the changeup.
Now Nikki Carver batting cleanup, .333 average on the season. She is a power hitter with 10 home runs and 27 RBIs.
1-1 pitch from Sirocco gets her to chase low in the zone, and now Rocco up 1-2.
Carver put a lot of power into that swing, just missing low.
Alex Sirocco, preseason All-American, spins the ball in the right hand, now delivers on 1-2. Changeup, missing high.
Hannah Carson has to stand up to stop that one from getting past. A good block from her to prevent Sam Hockenbach from making it to second. That'll bring the count to 2-2.
Carver wasting no time, settling back in the box. The 2-2 pitch from Sirocco. Popped up. This one in play, covering a lot of ground in from right field. Here's Audrey LeClaire to make the play. So after having a runner on third and just 1 out, Michigan keeps Ohio State scoreless. And we head to the bottom of the second inning. The score here in Ann Arbor is still 4-2.
Charlie, what an exciting game we're witnessing right now.
Yeah, this rubber match has not disappointed at all.
Not at all. And with the momentum on the Wolverines side, if they can get the bats hot, cut that deficit down this inning, I'm quite confident that they will be able to close this gap and take the lead here. Perhaps in the bottom of the second, but plenty of time left in the whole game. We play 9, only in bottom 2.
Emily Ruck will take the circle again. Michigan has 7, 8, 9 due up. It's Audrey LeClaire, Ella Mcveigh, and Annabelle Wedra. This game, again, just back and forth. We saw Ohio State on Friday win it pretty handedly, 6-2. But then yesterday, as we mentioned before, went all the way to the bottom of the 7th inning where Taylor Bump walked it off, clearing the bases with a triple to win things here in Ann Arbor.
So Emily Ruck still on the mound for the Buckeyes. She gave up 1 hit at the bottom of the 1st, of course. Buckeyes have 4 hits so far on the day. Just a great defensive effort from the Wolverines there last inning. This really could be a 5-2 game right now, but some heads up defensive play holds the Buckeyes, and the Wolverines now will have a chance to cut this deficit. And starting by scoring a run to make it 4-3. Maybe they can even tie it up here in the bottom of the 2nd.
It'll be LeClaire to lead things off, a .347 hitter on the season, batting .500 when she's in that leadoff position. Again, it's 7, 8, 9. LeClaire, Mcveigh, and then Wedra to round things out. Allison Smith for Ohio State is back in the dugout. Seems to be warm and ready to go should the Buckeyes need to call on her in relief of Emily Ruck. First pitch on the way to LeClaire is fouled back.
LeClaire will take a moment, step out of the box, reset.
This just the 2nd inning of work for Emily Ruck. Pitch count already over 30 as she misses high and outside for ball number 1.
The Wolverines making her work today.
LeClaire with the back over that back left shoulder. Ruck's delivery on 1-1. Again, fouled back into the net. Audrey LeClaire with some good hacks up here.
That ball will bounce back into play.
Some Go Blue chants come in from the alumni band. It'll be a 1-2 count for Audrey LeClaire as she steps back in. The wind up in the pitch from Ruck. This one hit hard on the ground over towards second base. It's going to be a quick bang-bang play, but the Buckeyes able to make it count. Farley with a nice throw and catch over there at 2 for out number 1.
That was really clean, too.
I mean, that's just textbook. Field the ball, don't let it eat you up. Toss on over to Nikki Carver at first base. And that'll bring up Ella Mcveigh.
Mcveigh will step up. She's batting .241 on the season.
First pitch her way is a called strike on the outside half. Mcveigh, 19 hits and 2 doubles on the season. The 0-1, this one missing high and outside.
So it's interesting to me how Mcveigh is one of those batters who will start moving to put a little power into her swing before she swings. Because, you know, not every player does that. I just find it interesting. And she's showing bunt now.
1-1 for Mcveigh, hit down the third baseline, just foul by about a foot.
Oh, and that's a tough one because that was a sure double if it landed just a foot to the right.
She was looking 2 out of the box, but now she'll have to go back in and reset here with 1-2 count. Emily Ruck trying to put her away. Annabelle Wedra looking on from on deck. Mcveigh again lines up the bat once more. Now the 1-2, high and outside. We mentioned it yesterday, but the bottom half into the top half of this Michigan lineup is very lefty heavy. 7, 8, 9 are all lefties in addition to the 1 and 2 spots in the order in Burkhart and Blair. Ruck's 2-2 pitch is fouled back into the face mask of Taylor Pack. She'll take a quick second to walk that one off.
He talks about how they're lefty heavy. In fact, I only see 2 righties in the lineup right now, Livingston and Bump.
Quick stoppage of play to give Taylor Pack Some time to reset after taking that ball off the face mask. The count's still 2-2. Mcveigh calls time, steps into the box now. Corners playing even with the bags, middle of the infield playing back closer to the grass. The 2-2. This one hit in the air. It's looping towards the left center gap, but the outfield playing up makes easy work of that one. Adi covering a lot of ground to field it about 20 feet behind second base.
And Maggie Adi, she's playing a little towards the left side of center field. She'll make the out. Like you said, she had to run a bit, but decent positioning there, knowing that El Mcveigh tends to hit it a little to the left side.
Annabelle Weidra, the 9-hitter in this lineup, is going to have some work to do to keep her team alive here with 2 outs in the bottom of the second inning. First pitch her way, swung on and missed. Nice pitch there from Ruck, goes off speed upstairs. Couple deep breaths from Weidra, now she'll reset. Burkhart looking on from on the deck. The 0-1 her way. Missing outside. Weidra showed bunt for a half second after realizing that both Carver and Bump on the corners were playing well behind the bags. Weidra lines up the bat, now settles in for 1-1. Swung on and missed again. Ruck getting her to chase for the second time this at-bat.
Again, a big swing there. If she gets a hold of it, I'd expect her to put some power on it. 1 home run so far this season, 7 RBIs for Weidra.
Emily Ruck now just 1 strike away from keeping the Wolverines scoreless here in the bottom of the second. James Conner signals play is live. And now here comes the 1-2. Well above the head of Weidra for ball number 2.
That riser really did rise. Catcher Taylor Pack has to stand up to make sure it doesn't get past. Of course, no one on. No harm in a pass ball.
Count even at 2 here. The pitch to Weidra. Swung on and fouled back.
A good job protecting here with the 2-2 count. That ball could have gone either way. A little high in the box. Just foul it back, play it safe.
The weather here at Alumni Field today is beautiful at about 70 degrees. Clouds covering most of the sky, so the sun not really too much of a factor. The 2-2 to Weidra. Fouled off again.
Takes a long time for Ann Arbor to get warm, but once it is beautiful here. There's no place I'd rather be in 70-degree weather, maybe besides the beach, than Ann Arbor, Michigan. Especially with softball going on here and a free view of Ray Fisher Stadium as that baseball game gets underway.
Weidra lines up the bat once more. Here comes the 2-2 from Ruck. Swung on and missed. Great bounce back inning from Emily Ruck to keep the Wolverines scoreless, and we're going to head to the top of the third. The score here in Ann Arbor, 4-2 in favor of the Ohio State Buckeyes.
So Weidra goes down swinging, but the Wolverines in the bottom of the third, if they can hold off the Buckeyes again, will come up with the top of their lineup. So with the top of their lineup, able to score 2 in the bottom of the first. Maybe they can do it again here. Some Wolverine magic in the bottom of the third. First step, of course, keeping the Buckeyes off the board here in the top of the third inning, which they were successful with last inning. Strong defensive play, of course. First inning, 2 errors cost the Wolverines a few runs there.
It's going to be Storako to take the circle again. She's got 5, 6, 7 due up for Ohio State. It's Mackenzie Bump, followed by quarter cracks, and then the catcher Taylor Pack. And then, should it go that far, it'll be Adi, Farley, and then back to the top of the order.
Mackenzie Bump will come in for OSU for a .347 batting average.
Bump walked once today back in the first inning.
And so far in the season, she has 25 hits and 73 at-bats.
is I'm just going to turn up the Nats for a second and let the alumni band just show their stuff. They're just shredding over there. They're just having fun.
I will say, the Michigan marching band, the hockey band, the football band, basketball band, they do play similar music each time. The alumni band brings a little bit of variety that we don't normally hear from them. So I appreciate having them at the game and bringing up the energy level here at Alumni Field.
Yeah, I don't think there's a single person in this ballpark who would argue with the fact that the alumni band being here is just puts a smile on your face. So here we go in the top of the third inning. Ohio State still holds that 2-run lead. The score sitting at 4-2. Mackenzie Bump going to look to get things going for the Buckeyes. She changes the rise ball way upstairs on pitch number 1, and Storako is out in front. Storako nods yes to the sign, now settles back in. 0-1 pitch on the way, popped up foul. Bump tried to lay down a sneaky bunt.
Unsuccessful. If so, however, Taylor Bump, of course, with the same last name as Mackenzie Bump, Taylor Bump, the third baseman for the Wolverines, she's ready to come in.
0-2 pitch from Storako. This one hit high in the air towards the right center gap, and covering a lot of ground to get to it is Christina Burkhart. She's able to make the play. 1 up and 1 down for the Wolverines.
Burkhart runs to it. Easy catch, routine play. The Wolverines gain themselves an out. No one on.
Following the fly out from Bump, that will bring up Cammie Quartercracks. Singled and scored. That single and RBI back in the first inning. Fresh count from Storako gets her to pop it up foul. And Storako again out in front. Storako obviously hasn't seen quite the success that she would have liked this year. Has had some less than ideal outings, but has still been very dominant. A strikeout-heavy pitcher, sitting at 246 strikeouts on the season, as she misses upstairs with the changeup there to even out the count at 1-1.
Now that's incredibly impressive. Like you said, Storako, sometimes she hasn't had all that she's wanted to, but she's a reliable force here for the Wolverines.
1-1 from Rocco's popped up. This one will stay in the infield. Settling under it is Ella Mcveigh for out number 2.
Another routine play. Mcveigh calls it clearly. Everyone else lays off, makes the catch with ease. So now 2 outs here. No one on. Wolverines in strong defensive positioning.
Just 6 pitches so far this inning from Alex Storako. She'll look to keep it under 10 as Taylor Pack steps up to the plate. Pack walked. Her first and only time up back in the first inning, was left stranded on third base. She watches the rise ball way too high for ball number 1.
Pack batting .250 on the season. She has 1 home run, 5 RBIs. Earned herself a walk earlier today.
The 1-0 pitch from Storako. She goes back to the rise ball and gets Pack to chase it upstairs, fouls it off. Just the chemistry between Hannah Carson and the duo of Alex Storako and Megan Bobian is a huge piece of Michigan's success, as Pack again follows off another rise ball.
So Pack chasing those high ones, bringing the count to 1-2. And that's one of the things Storako does best.
The windup, the 1-2. That one rings her up in the outside corner. Great pitch from Storako to paint the edge.
Taylor Pack is caught looking.
What an inning from Alex Storako. Final pitch count for that inning comes in at 7 total pitches.
So well done there for Alex Storako. A credit to the whole Michigan defense. Routine plays being made. And they hold the Buckeyes there. No one gets on base. No runs scored.
We mentioned Storako being a strikeout-dominant pitcher. Her 246 strikeouts this season puts her at 3rd in the nation, only behind the infamous Georgina Korick of USF and Peyton Gottschall of Bowling Green. We have a young fan doing some Michigan softball trivia. It's going to be the top of the order due up for Michigan. It's Christina Burkhart leading off, followed by Lexi Blair and Melina Livingston. Burkhart, her first time up, was hit by a pitch, ended up scoring. But after those first three, it'll be Hannah Carson in the cleanup spot, followed by Taylor Bump, Ellie Sieler, and Audrey LeClaire. And then she'll be get that far, Ella McVeigh and Annabelle Weidra to round it out. It is still Emily Ruck in the circle. So after the rough first inning, the clean second inning earned her another inning of work.
Now that said, the second inning dealing with the lower half of the lineup here. We'll see if Michigan's top of the lineup can do some damage. Cut this deficit down 4-2 to the Buckeyes of Ohio State here in the bottom of the 3rd.
Back in the first, we saw Ruck hit 2 of Michigan's first 3 hitters in Christina Burkhart and Melina Livingston.
So the question is she intimidated by the top of the lineup? Has she gotten her pitches under control? She was struggling a little bit to hit those corners, and her riser a little out of control too.
And here we go. The corner's playing up. Burkhart settles in on that left-hand side. First pitch below her knees for ball number 1. The hit by pitch last inning hasn't affected her batting average, so still sitting at .397.
That's incredibly impressive. Nothing else to say about it.
Ruck's 1-0, catches the outside corner for strike number 1. Blair looking on, getting her timing in the on-deck circle. Again, the corner's creeping up. The 1-1 delivery to Christina Burkhart. That one missing low and outside.
Good eye there from Burkhart. Get the count in her favor here.
As it has passed 1 o'clock, the Michigan baseball game directly across the way at Ray Fisher Stadium has gotten underway. As Burkhart hits the 2-1 deep towards center field. That one back off the wall. It makes its way back past the center fielder. Burkhart's got at least 2, if not 3, and she slides into third base for a lead-off triple.
What a great hit and a great start to the bottom of the 3rd here for the Wolverines. I talked about how active those padding pieces are on the outfield wall. That ball just bounced right past OSU center fielder as it hit off the wall. Meggie Audie, she had to chase after it, running back towards the infield, and that allowed for Christina Burkhart to round second and take 3rd with ease.
The leadoff triple sparks a Let's Go Blue chant here in Alumni Field and bumps Burkhart's average back up over 400. And now we'll bring up Lexi Blair with no outs and a runner on third base.
So what a great offensive situation for the Wolverines to be in. Lexi Blair batting .319 on the season. She's 0 for 1 today.
First pitch her way, catches the outside corner for a called strike 1. In a very good position to be in if you're Michigan, with Blair, Livingston, and Carson all coming up. At least looking at the stat sheet, the odds are in your favor that Livingston, or that Burkhart rather, will end up back in the dugout. The 0-1 just misses. Ruck tried to go back to that same spot, but couldn't quite paint the corner again.
A little low and outside there. Now, Ruck hasn't been as wild as we saw earlier, but she's still struggling to paint those corners.
The 1-1 delivery to Blair, rise ball, and misses.
Pretty high, yeah, I'm wrong on that one. That was a bad miss.
The alumni band getting the fans going here at Alumni Field. Blair settles back in, up near the front of the batter's box. 2-1 count coming her way. Swung on and missed. That one's going to even it out. Blair took a big hack at that one with the wind blowing towards center. She was trying to put that one in Ray Fisher Stadium. Blair takes her time now. And here comes the 2-2 from Ruck. This one hit on the ground towards second base. Burkhart's going to score, and that one is going to be an RBI for Lexi Blair. Routine ground ball to Farley. She just elects to get Lexi Blair at first. But Michigan closes the lead even more. 4-3 here, the score now in the bottom of the third inning.
Now, of course, the corners were playing in, but Farley in typical positioning. I'm not sure she would have been able to make that throw home in time. Went with the safe play to get the out, but the Buckeyes give up one. Michigan cuts its deficit in half, now just down 1 to Ohio State here in the bottom of the third.
On a ground ball to the right side of the infield, especially with the speed of Christina Burkhart there at third, as Livingston pops up the first pitch she sees in foul territory and able to reel it in is the third baseman Mackenzie Bump. 2 outs now, and that'll bring up Hannah Carson with nobody on base. As I was saying, with Christina Burkhart's speed on third base, any ground ball to the right side of the infield, you're better off just getting the easy out.
Yeah. If Ohio State thrown home, they probably wouldn't have gotten the out and still would have let up the run.
First pitch to Carson. That one looked good, but James Connor says it's low. Pack took an extra second to ask him where that one was.
A little low and outside, apparently. So Carson will take the lead here in the count.
Bump looking on from on deck. This one from Carson hit deep towards the right center gap. That one's off the wall. Another awkward bounce that has Meggiotti confused. An overthrow, but Carson's going to stay at second base. That one's going to go down as an easy double for Hannah Carson as she continues to just pound the softball here at Alumni. Her 10th double of the year.
A great hit, and you have to think if Melina Livingston had made it on base, she might have been able to score off that one. Meggiotti playing the wall a little bit better there. Once she realized it was going to be over her head, she actually backed up back towards the infield to take it like a grounder as it rolled back towards her. Made the throw in much better time. Of course, it did get past. Luckily for Ohio State, first baseman Nikki Carver was there to back it up, ensure that Hannah Carson couldn't take third.
Another mound meeting for Ohio State. Michigan's got 2 outs and a runner on second base in Hannah Carson, with Taylor Bump stepping up to the plate. And Bump's first and only time up this game. She hit that double off the outfield wall. And you got to think, from the double that Bump hit, the double that Carson hit, the triple from Burkhart, if they had a little bit more lift, they might have been able to make their way out of the ballpark. But all of these have just been scorching line drives bouncing off the wall.
They've been beauties, and they're at center field, which is 222 feet compared to the edges, of course, which are 200. So just a little different placement. Those balls would be out of here.
Some cheers for the fifth-year senior Taylor Bump as she steps into that right-handed batter's box. Standing tall and awaiting the pitch from Emily Ruck. Again, runner on second base in Hannah Carson. First pitch Bump's way. A bit low for ball number 1.
So low for ball 1. Bump batting .240 on the season. Of course, she had the only hit coming into this inning. Now Christina Burkhart and Hannah Carson up there as well.
The 1-0 her way now. This one low and in the dirt. Pack doing a nice job dropping down to keep it in front of her and keep Hannah Carson at second base.
Yeah, Carson was ready to run. She might have been halfway in the base path there before she realized it had been caught. Got back with plenty of time.
2-0 hitters count here for Taylor Bump. And you got to think, if you're Ohio State, maybe you just put her on and get up to Ellie Sieler and have a force out everywhere with 2 outs. 2-0 pitch from Ruck. A changeup that goes high in the zone. Bump lays off of it begrudgingly, but it is the right call. The count now goes 3-0. That one a dangerous pitch from Emily Ruck. Left that changeup just sitting up at the top of the zone. That ball was asking to get put in the stands.
Up 2-0 in the count. You can't swing at that one, though.
3-0 pitch. Bump wanted ball 4. Started walking down to first base, but James Connors calls strike number 1, so she'll have a second Hitters count off the at-bat.
I don't think that's that bad. I think if you throw the bat, it's a bad sign. But if you just start walking, you're not on bad terms with the umpire just yet.
The 3-1 to Bump. And that one's going to be ball 4. Misses pretty high in the zone, and that'll bring up Ellie Sieler.
Emily Ruck really just can't get her riser under control right now. Of course, no worries just yet. If she can get Sieler to swing at it, you got to force out at any of the infield bases. But if she walks Sieler, the Buckeyes are in trouble. Sieler coming in with a .256 batting average. She's 0 for 1 today. Went down earlier on a grounder out.
Fresh count to Sieler. First pitch, a changeup. It rides well high in the zone for ball number 1. Ellie Sieler, the freshman, a .333 hitter with 2 outs. So a good position to be in if you're a Michigan Wolverine fan. Carson on second, Bump on first. The pitch to Sieler, this one popped up foul.
Even the count out at 1-1.
Sieler up at the plate, Audrey LeClaire looking on from the on-deck circle. We hear a cowbell leading some clapping cheers with the Michigan fans.
I like it. It's a mix between the Big House, Yost, Chrysler. The alumni bands brought it all today.
The 1-1 to Sieler. That one catching the outside corner. Now Ruck ahead for the first time in quite some time.
That call could have gone either way because Carson he's made that call as a ball before. Or Connors, excuse me.
2 outs, 2 runners on. The 1-2 pitch on the way from Emily Ruck. Tries to go back to that outside corner. That one a little wide. Pack didn't even try to frame that one. Just rifles it back to Ruck and lets her reset. Bump with a decent lead over there at first base. Back right foot planted on the bag. The 2-2 pitch on the way to Ellie Sieler. This one hit on the air to shallow center. Plenty of time to settle under it for Adi. And that'll do it for the inning. We're going to head to the top of the 4th, but not before Michigan gets one back. The score here in Ann Arbor, 4-3 in favor of the Buckeyes.
So a third through the game here.
We take a quick look over there at the score at Ray Fisher Stadium. They're locked at 0 in the bottom of the first inning.
Now, credit to the Wolverine faithful. Ray Fisher looks pretty sold out today, at least 80% full. Alumni Field, almost a sellout crowd in the outfield. The stands are packed. The stands encompassing the infield, probably 80% full as well. So, always impressive when you can fill both at the same time, knowing that so many colleges across this country struggle to make more than 10 fans turn out to their baseball and softball games on a regular basis.
As the band wraps up, it will be Hannah Carson trotting back out of the dugout. Alex Storako taking her spot in the circle. She's got the bottom of the order in 8-9 and then back up to the top with Wilkeson. It's Adi, Farley, and as I mentioned, back up to Wilkeson hitting leadoff. The throw down from Hannah Carson. We're set to go. Ohio State in much more legible jerseys today than they had yesterday. Adam and I were complaining about yesterday. Ohio State was wearing all white jerseys with white numbers. The only indication was just the red outline of the numbers. It was just really hard to read.
That's a little frustrating, especially for the broadcast.
Yeah, you could manage it when there was a lefty up at the plate, so they had their back to you and you could, just squint and kind of make it out. But when players were running back and forth to the bullpen and such, it was chalked. There was no way you were going to read anything.
No, you're lost there. So the Wolverines. Oh, sorry there. I was just going to say, they're taking a little moment here at the mound. Storako talking with third baseman Taylor Bump for a moment.
And now we are underway. First pitch to Adi is hit deep towards center field. Burkhart back to the warning track to reel it in.
And again, that one at dead center, 222 feet. That ball probably went 218 maybe. A few extra feet, that one was out of here, and it had the distance anywhere else in this ballpark.
Audie didn't even put that good of a swing on it, just got a little bit of help from Mother Nature with the wind blowing towards dead center field.
Right towards Ray Fisher.
Yeah, 1 pitch and 1 out. That'll bring up Caitlin Farley. First pitch from Storako in this at-bat is the rise ball that misses high.
It's funny how when the wind is helping you at the Alumni Field complex, it's hurting you over at the baseball complex.
1-0 pitch from Storako. She goes with the changeup, and that one's going to be good enough for strike number 1. We saw the freshman Farley struggle with Beaubien's changeup yesterday, one of the best in the business. The 1-1 pitch, rise ball again, missing high and outside. So a freshman to end this lineup for the Buckeyes, and then a freshman to lead things off in Melina Wilkeson, who's awaiting on deck.
2-1 the count.
The delivery from Storako hit on a line towards Taylor Bump, and an easy grab for her over there in the hot corner. That's 2 up and 2 down.
Now that was a confusing hit because it stayed in the air. It was a line drive, but it didn't seem to be moving that fast. There must have been a lot of spin on that ball. Bump, who was playing very in just in case we saw the bunt, was there and ready for it. She reacted quickly, got the out, and she's smiling now back at third base. 2 outs on the board. She'll return back to her position.
First pitch to Wilkeson is a changeup in the dirt. That gets her to go around. Was completely fooled through a check swing at her, but definitely went around. Well, Wilkeson is having one heck of a series. Went 3 for 4 the other day. Is currently 2 for 2 with 2 doubles in this one. As I say that, she puts this one in the right center gap, or left center rather, but Burkhart plenty of time to get over there and settle under it. So 3 up and 3 down. A real quick inning for Alex Storako and the Michigan Wolverines.
So a well-hit ball there for Melina Wilkinson. Just didn't have enough power on it. And as the scoreboard says, it's a 1-2-3 inning for the Wolverines as they get the bats ready. See if they can tie this game up here in the bottom of the 4th.
Second straight 1-2-3 inning for Alex Storako. The first inning she came into pitch, kept it at 7 total pitches. That inning comes in at 7 total pitches again. It's going to be Audrey LeClaire, the first Wolverine, to face Emily Ruck when she comes back out. It's 7, 8, 9, and then back up to the top of the order with Christina Burkhart. Michigan down 4-3 here as there's a fan race in the outfield around the warning track, and one little kid is just...
One kid got confused. He ran the wrong direction.
Yeah, he's just doing his thing. He's just running straight through the outfield.
The Ohio State outfielders are enjoying the race. They're watching enjoyment. It looks like someone in a Michigan football number 4 jersey will take the win there.
Looks like this one fan's trying to go get in on the Ohio State conversation in center field between the outfielders. He's cruising, though, making his way finally over and getting some cheers from the fans here at Alumni.
He's made it.
He took possibly the most roundabout way I've ever seen to get from the left field corner to the right field corner. Did about 3 loop-de-loops in shallow left field before finally making his way over.
And I'm not sure if he once touched the warning track, which was the whole point of the race.
Yeah.
Which team was doing that Beat the Freeze event? You could start.
We were talking about this yesterday. That is the Atlanta Braves. Because Adam Bressler, being Adam Bressler, knew all sorts of fun facts about the freeze.
Of course
I
he
can tell
did.
you whatever you want to know. He ran the 200 and the 400 at Georgia Tech, or at Georgia State. He was a college sprinter. And then the Braves saw him and were like, this could be great entertainment. So
of course Bressler knew that stuff.
First pitch is a line drive. What a play by Quartercracks. LeClaire put it in the deep hole between third and short, but running and making the backhanded grab for out number 1, as I mentioned, is Cammie Quartercracks.
I wonder if the freeze is still running at Braves games or if that was just a one-year thing.
Pretty sure he still is.
He kind of caught the internet by storm when he started. I think we all remember that video of someone who thought they won. They had their arms up, and then they tripped as the freeze passed them at the finish line.
So 1 pitch and 1 out. That'll bring up Ella Mcveigh. First pitch her way is high and outside for ball number 1. A little bit of action down there in the Ohio State bullpen. Looks like 2 arms warming up.
Much tougher view here at Alumni than you have at Ray Fisher of the bullpens.
1-0 on the way to McVeigh. This one popped up foul, and we'll even out the count at 1-1. It is Widra on deck.
So tough to have that first out because Audrey LeClaire really got a piece of that ball. Just shortstop, Cami Corderak's right place at the right time to make the out.
The 1-1 pitch to McVeigh. Misses outside for ball number 2. I just can't get over how beautiful the weather here is at Alumni Field.
Oh, it's fantastic. It is going to be so hard to go inside and write an essay after this game.
Oh, tell me about it. 2-1 pitch on the way towards Ella McVeigh. Check swing, doesn't go around, and that's going to bring the count to 3-1. McVeigh's going to be looking for her pitch here on 3-1, and she'd be one heck of a base runner to get on base to get things started. Can fly around the base pass. Lines up the bat now, settles in for the 3-1, and that one a called strike in the outside corner. Unhappy with that call as you hear some oohs from the Michigan faithful.
Yeah, McVeigh looked a little, she didn't start walking truly to first base, but she looked ready to go.
She kind of walked away with a look of like, that should have been a ball, but I think he's going to call it a strike.
Yeah.
Full count pitch her way. This one hitting the gap between right center. That one's going to get down. She's got at least 2. Sliding into second base, and that's a double for Ella McVeigh.
She's pumped up on second. Way better than a walk. Put a runner on second. Wolverines with 1 out. A great offensive position to be in here in the bottom of the 4th, down 1.
That ball did not look like it was going to get down coming off the bat.
It was a tough one because the Ohio State outfield, again, center fielder Maggie Audie was a little to the left side, so she couldn't make it in time. It was kind of center right. And it looks like Ohio State's, they're going to take a timeout here, see if they'll make a pitching change. Got 2 pitchers warming up in the Ohio State bullpen right now. They'll bring the whole infield in.
If I had to guess, that would, looks like it is going to do it for Emily Ruck's day. So the base runner in Ella McVeigh will be attributed to her. And it looks like it's going to be Allison Smith coming in to relieve once more. Again, we saw her yesterday come in to try and close things. It's Taylor Bump and Megan Bobie and lead a Go Blue chant in front of the dugout.
They look like they're having a good time doing it.
It's hard to have a bad time at Alumni Field. It really, really is.
The energy here, it's a great combination because it's a very intimate atmosphere. You can hear the players, you can interact with them almost. But still, you've got a packed crowd, a lot of people around you to bring up that energy, that excitement. It's the perfect combination.
It'll be Annabelle Widra, the first to face the new arm in Allison Smith.
Right now, they're trying to start a wave here.
Bump and Bobie and are just having fun. 2 fifth-year seniors for this Michigan team. Trying to keep the crowd engaged as Allison Smith throws her warm-up pitches. Again, it's going to be Annabelle Widra and then the top of the order.
And I think these guys have got the wave going. The Ohio State fans not partaking in the fun. The no fun zone over there in red.
It looks like maybe 1 or 2 of them got into it. The Ohio State fans in the outfield seem much more willing to get involved in the wave.
Yeah, that Ohio State group right over the dugout, I'm sure some of them are families of these players. They're not going to partake in Michigan's fun in between innings.
Allison Smith finishes up her warm-up pitches and looks like we are just about set to go. The freshman Annabelle Weidra to lead things off against Smith. She's got one out, and Ella Mcveigh sitting over there on second base. Mcveigh showed off her wheels on that double again. Just looked like it shouldn't have even gotten down, let alone been a double, but Mcveigh saw two out of the box. First pitch on the way from Smith. This one a bunt. Weidra gets it down. It's going to be a close play at first. They get Weidra, but McVeigh gets over to third base, and now Michigan in a good position to do some more damage.
A decent bunt. It does roll up a little to Allison Smith, so she'll be able to come in and make the out. Seems like we have a little bit of confusion here coming from the Ohio State bench. So that'll bring us to 2 outs. It will, however, move Ella Mcveigh to third, so she's in great scoring position now, and it's on Christina Burkhart, the center fielder, to bring her in. Now Burkhart's average with that last hit now up to 401 on the season. I think it was 397 beforehand. So with a 400 batting average, we'll see if she can keep it there right now.
She scored both times up, was hit by a pitch in the first and brought it all the way back around, and then her last time up back in the third inning, we had that triple that she mentioned. First pitch her way is a ball outside. Burkhart, 25 RBIs on the season. In a very good position to tack on one more with Ella Mcveigh over there at third. First two pitches from Allison Smith both miss high and outside, so it'll be a 2-0 count for Burkhart when she resets and steps back in. Deep breath from Allison Smith, now the delivery. That one again missing. This time low.
Bring us to a 3-0 count. I guess if you're going to walk anyone, you might as well walk the person with the 400 batting average. That said, Smith just not hitting her targets after coming right in.
3-0 pitch on the way to Burkhart. That one right down Broadway for called strike one. Again, the score here in Ann Arbor, 4-3 in favor of the Ohio State Buckeyes. They scored all 4 of those in the top of the first inning. 3-1 hitters count to Burkhart. That one missing low and outside for ball 4. And now Burkhart has reached base all 3 times up today.
Takes her free ride down to first, and we'll shift over to Lexi Blair, who now, with runners on the corners and 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th, has the opportunity to tie this game up or give Michigan the lead.
Blair 0 for 2 today with an RBI. A productive out in her last time up, grounded out to second base. One that scored Burkhart after the triple.
15 RBIs this season. We'll see if she can expand on that today.
Smith pitch up near the eyes. Burkhart takes second base for free.
No throw there. No movement from Ella Mcveigh on third.
So now 2 runners in scoring position for Lexi Blair. 2 outs and a 1-0 count. Corners playing even with the bags. Infield playing back. 1-0 to Blair, down low. So a 2-0 count now. More action going down to the Ohio State bullpen. It's Jessica Ross, the senior right-hander, going down to warm up. Smith's 2-0 pitch to Blair is called for a strike right at the belt.
That one looked right down the middle as well. Don't blame Blair for holding off with Allison Smith's performance with the strike zone so far. Still a hitter's count.
2-1 pitch on the way from Allison Smith. This one popped up foul, and we're going to even it out. 2-2, just barely missing the Kona Ice shaved ice stand.
Let me tell you, Kona Ice, I think, is my favorite summertime ballpark snack.
See, this is exactly what Bressler said yesterday, and I told him that he was crazy.
Love that stuff. I am from Rhode Island. If I'm in Rhode Island, I'm drinking a Dell's ice cold lemonade, Dell's soft frozen lemonade. But if I'm not, Kona Ice, 100% way to go. Bressler, you're right.
2-1 pitch to Lexi Blair is fouled back. And that'll make it 2-2. Correction, it was 2-2 before, and count stays the same. A little bit of miscommunication between the scoreboard. 2 strikes and 2 outs. Allison Smith with a position to get out of this inning unscathed. 2 runners in scoring position still, though. The 2-2 to Blair up near her eyes, and that one's going to be ball 3. We're going to go full.
So full count. Allison Smith still struggling with her targets. She hasn't really been, the riser hasn't been struggling nearly as much as Emily Ruck was. We haven't seen too many high balls or ones that have a chance to get past, but she's just not painting the corners as she intends.
Full count, 2 outs. This one hit deep towards left center field. That one's back to the wall, off the wall. 2 runs are going to score. Lexi Blair coming in, a stand-up 2-run double, and Michigan takes the lead.
So Michigan comes in with the lead. Lexi Blair will seal the deal, and for the first time in this game, the Wolverines are ahead on top of the Ohio State Buckeyes, a score of 5-4.
Full count, 2 outs and 2 runners on. Lexi Blair delivers a deep fly ball off the left center wall, and Lexi Blair puts her Wolverines out in front.
You have to thank Allison Smith. She's wishing she went with the walk here.
And we are going to see a pinch runner coming out for Lexi Blair. Again, that knee injury doesn't allow her to fly around the base pass like she did before, but that's going to bring Lauren Espin out to second, and Lexi Blair into a standing ovation from the Maize and Blue faithful.
So pinch running here, number 12, Lauren Esmond.
Allison Smith not out of the woods yet. She's got Melina Livingston to deal with a runner on second base.
Livingston coming in. She's 0 for 1 today, but has a .342 batting average this season. 19 RBIs, and with a runner on second, has the chance to do some serious damage to expand Michigan's lead.
Fresh count, and that one hit on a line right to quarter cracks at shortstop. Livingston got all of that one but couldn't find a gap. So that's going to do it for the inning, but not before Michigan retakes the lead here in Ann Arbor. 5-4 in favor of the Michigan Wolverines.
Don't think you could have asked for anything more than that. Now, Brigham, any score update from the baseball game? We could see him over at Ray Fisher.
Still locked at 0 in the top of the 3rd.
Of course, when this game concludes, we'll have coverage of the Michigan baseball game on WCBN Sports' main YouTube channel if you want to head over to that after this one. I wouldn't change the channel just yet, though. We are an exciting match here, and with the Wolverines up only 1 over Ohio State, we'll see if they can hold off the Buckeyes here as we enter the top of the 5th. Maybe expand their lead in the bottom of the inning.
Espin will take Blair's spot at first base. And it will be Alex Storako back out in the circle. She's got 2, 3, 4 to deal with. Roberti, Hockenbrack, and Carver. Tell you what, there's nothing better. There's no better sound to me than the pop of a baseball or softball glove. It's so good.
I really enjoy it. It just sounds like summer.
It does. It really does just sound like summer.
This whole there's something about the environment here, in like it's a little humid out, it's warm, the wind's blowing, but it's not a cold breeze. Like there's a stark difference between sports in the warm spring and the fall. Like if it's the fall, I'm at the soccer stadium. Every time the wind blows, I want to put on another sweatshirt. But here, it's nice, it's refreshing.
As Hail to the Victors plays, we're just about set to go here in the top of the 5th inning. If you're just joining us, Ohio State led for most of this ball game after putting up 4 runs in the top of the 1st inning. Michigan answered back with 2 in the bottom of the 1st, 1 in the bottom of the 3rd, and then the 2-run double from Lexi Blair pushed them ahead in the bottom half of the last inning. Michigan now leads 5-4 here.
Of course, WCBN providing all the Michigan softball coverage you could ask for this season. You guys even traveled with them down to Florida to open it up. Where was that, Tampa?
Tampa, yep. That was a fun trip. Beautiful weather. Actually, the weather here right now is better than it was in Tampa.
Really?
We are underway. Soft line drive over to Lauren Espin on the first pitch of the inning from Roberti, and that's going to be out number 1.
Just for safety, she'll toss it over to second baseman. That's at second, Melina Livingston, who ran in just in case it maybe bounced off the ground that they didn't see.
It was an awkward little swing there from J.C. Roberti. The pitch was on the outside half. She reached at it and somehow poked it all the way down the first base line. But that will bring up Sam Hockenbrack, who comes up empty on a big swing on pitch number 1. Sirocco just blew it by her. Scoreboard finally catching up to the fact that we're already on to the second hitter of this inning.
Yes, one thing I think you got to note, if you've ever called a game at Ray Fisher, whoever runs the scoreboard there falls behind often. Twice yesterday, the ump paused the game because it said like 3-2 on the scoreboard, and someone had walked and a new batter came up.
Hockenbrack fouled off pitch number 2, so Sirocco way out in front with an 0-2 count. This one, a changeup that slips away from her and bounces about halfway between the circle and home plate. Rocco still in a very comfortable position. The count 1-2, 1 out, no runners on. The wind up in the delivery. This one popped up. Again, Hockenbrack launching this one foul, running all the way. And they're going to say it's a foul ball.
Now it looked like it could have hit the foul pole out in left, but in that one, it had the distance. I think that would have been a home run. If not, maybe it hit off the very top of the wall.
I think it hit, at least from the umpire calling that a foul ball, it looks like it most likely hit the very top of the wall, just probably 6 inches away from the foul pole. But Ellie Sieler covered a lot of ground and ran into the wall to try to get that one, but it doesn't matter anyway. Alex Sirocco sits her down looking on a pitch on the outside corner. Make it 248 strikeouts on the season for Rocco.
That's incredible. May see her hit 250 today. Plenty of game left. Sam Hockenbrack, one of the best hitters there on the Buckeyes. Bring up Nikki Carver.
First pitch to Carver, changeup on the outside corner, called strike 1. Tell you what, when Alex Sirocco is dealing, there aren't many pitchers in the country who can say that they're better. The 0-1 pitch, this one fouled back again, and Sirocco for the second straight at bat, way out ahead in an 0-2 count.
And Carson will just catch that one as it bounces back towards home off of the netting behind home plate.
0-2 count here for Nikki Carver. The windup, the delivery from Sirocco, popped up foul. We'll do it again.
Keep the count at 0-2. I like how you can hear the sounds of Ray Fisher just drifting over here. I'll tell you what, though, it is much louder to be at Ray Fisher and hear Alumni Field's cheers than vice versa.
The 0-2 pitch from Alex Sirocco. This one hit on a line. It's going to one-hop into the glove of Ellie Sieler. And Nikki Carver continues her impressive campaign in this series. Now 2 for 3 on the day.
And Carver will get to first. She didn't even have a chance at second just simply because of how hard she hit that ball. That was in the glove of Ellie Sieler. Maybe 2 seconds after it was hit, that ball, line drive, flew and just one-hopped into left.
That will bring up Mackenzie Bump, the third baseman. Bump 0 for 1 so far today. First pitch her way is a changeup that rings in for strike number 1.
That said, she's 0 for 1 today with a walk as well. 342 so far on the season, however, 14 RBIs.
0-1 pitch from Sirocco popped up. It's going to stay right in front of Hannah Carson, who makes the play. A dangerous play for Carson as she almost stepped on the bat of Mackenzie Bump, but it doesn't matter. She reels it in, and we head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Ohio State held scoreless for the 4th straight.
So after a strong start for the Buckeyes, their bats die down, and the Wolverines retain their lead. See if they can expand it here in the bottom of the 5th. Now, Alumni Field, I've been talking about the energy all game, but I think it's just something that I can't I really can't overemphasize it enough, because there's something so special about playing here with Ann Arbor's skyline in the background. You got the Ford School of Public Policy, South Quad. You can see the Michigan Union and its flag, the Ross School of Business, and of course you got Yost Dice Arena and Ray Fisher Stadium just over center and right fields, respectively. It's an environment that I haven't really felt since actually my brothers were at the Little League World Series a few years back, and to have that many fans around a smaller field like it's really creates an exciting place to play for the Wolverines here.
This entire campus and this complex, especially with, Ray Fisher Stadium, Alumni Field, Yost, the big house to our left-hand side, Chrysler right behind that. I mean, everything right here is just so enjoyable, especially as a student who, you gain free admission to a lot of these sporting events. The fact that it's all right here on campus just helps to just bring in and create such just an amazing culture.
Yeah, it really is special to be a student here at Michigan. If anyone is listening and picking schools right now, and Michigan is one of those schools you're deciding on, it will be the best decision of your life. Let me tell you that. And yesterday I was in Carytown and downtown Ann Arbor, and I just stepped into a street, and just straight down the way, you could see the Block M towering over everything else on the opposite side of the Michigan Stadium video board. It's just, whenever you're in the city, you can feel the presence of this school, and it's really special. Bottom of the fifth coming up, Michigan up 1, and Hannah Carson, the catcher, will start us off here.
Carson 1 for 1. Had a sac fly RBI back in the first inning. Hit a double on her last time up. She dribbles a soft grounder. It's going to be a close play, and she's going to be called out. And Hannah Carson holding that ankle as she lunged towards first base.
Now, I will say it was a close one. Not everyone in the crowd was happy with it, but I do think it's the right call. The throw just barely beat her there, but it did. And the crowd will go silent here as Carson seems to be struggling with her ankle, getting attention from a medical trainer.
She'll get up on her own power and walk it off to the dugout, but limping quite a bit. She lunged from a good 5 feet out trying to leg that one out. We saw her do something similar yesterday where she was able to beat out an infield single, but this time Ohio State makes the play, and we hope Hannah Carson's okay. She'll hopefully most likely get medical attention as she makes her way back into the dugout.
So that'll bring up Taylor Baum. 1 out, no one on here, bottom of the fifth.
First pitch to Bump is a changeup that just floats in there for strike number 1.
That might have been the slowest pitch we've seen today.
Even Bump thinks so as well. You could see she was just laughing as that pitch went by and called a strike. The 0-1 from Allison Smith. Tries to ramp up the velocity a little bit, but misses low and outside.
She'll go with a fastball there, bringing some heat to home plate. After that, I mean, it stayed straight, but that looked like the speed of, what is it, an ephus or something?
The 1-1, again missing high. Bump has worked 20 walks so far this season, just a testament to her great plate discipline and vision. She has a 2-1 count now. Bat over that back right shoulder. Make it a 3-1 count as Smith tosses that one into the dirt. All action in the Ohio State bullpen is stopped, so at least from the looks of it, we'll see Allison Smith go the rest of the way.
That said,
the 3-1 pitch to Bump, and she's walked again.
And I paused there for the pitch, but that said, with them sticking with Allison Smith, she's really not hitting her targets too well. She's kept Michigan's offense under control enough, but they've taken the lead, and she's been walking quite a few batters.
So Ellie Sieler 0 for 2 so far on the day, but is going to look to make an impact here with Taylor Bump over at first base. First pitch from Smith coming her way, just barely missing her front right arm as Sieler turns away from it for ball number 1. Taylor bump on first. Ellie Sieler up at the plate. Audrey LeClaire, the right fielder, on deck. The 1-0. Again, what looked to be a ball outside, a long hesitation on the call from James Connors before he finally calls it strike number 1. Taylor Pack, the catcher, had already fielded and thrown it back to Allison Smith in the circle by the time that ball was called a strike.
Connor takes his time. I think he's making noises back there to signify when it's a strike beforehand, but if you're a batter, that's at least a little confusing.
Yeah, his signal on the actual call doesn't come until well later. 2-1 pitch. It's fouled off, and we'll go 2-2 now. 5-4 here at Alumni Field. Again, Michigan taking the lead last inning off the 2-run double from Lexi Blair. Smith checks the wristband, now goes to the windup. 2-2 pitch to Sieler, and fouled off again. LeClaire looking on from on deck, trying to get her timing. 4 lefties in the last 4 spots of this Michigan lineup. The 2-2. A changeup that bounces off the front of the plate and up into the chest of Taylor Peck. Full count here, 1 out and 1 runner on first base. That, of course, being Taylor Bump.
So Allison Smith looking to not walk another Wolverine.
The full count pitch. This one hit on the ground. It's going to bobble into the hands of Farley. Tries to get the lead runner and bump, and she does. A close play. But a nice play by Farley. Had to drop down to Renee to field that one quickly and just turned her body to rifle it over to second base. That's good. 2 outs now.
Yeah, good recovery there, too. If she bobbled that once more, might have seen 2 runners stay on base, no out.
So the base running situation doesn't change much. Just swap Sieler for Bump. But now it's 2 outs on the board for Michigan. Fresh count to LeClaire. This one way high and outside for ball number 1. Ella Mcveigh, the shortstop, looking on deck. Again, just trying to get her timing right, following the double into the right center gap in her last time up. LeClaire fouls off pitch number 2, and we're going to even out the count at 1-1. Again, it's still warm. The sun just starting to poke through the clouds a little bit. It's been kind of hidden for most of the ball game.
It's coming out now. I think we've got a little bit of rain in the forecast tonight.
1-1 from Smith. Rides inside for ball number 2. Sieler with a decent secondary lead over there at first. The 2-1 pitch from Allison Smith. That one catches the outside corner. We're going to even it out at 2-2. LeClaire having one heck of a season at the plate. A .338 batting average. Tossing 9 stolen bases as well. She's been productive all the way around. Sieler's going to go. The throw down to second, and they got her. What a throw from Taylor Pack. Sieler got a good jump, but just an even better throw from her knees.
That was a great throw and just laying the tag, doing a great job with shortstop Cami Quarterocks. Or Quartercracks, excuse me. Great job laying the tag, called out on the slide, and well, I do think that one probably could have gone either way. She did appear to be out. So Michigan unable to expand their lead here in the bottom of the 5th. We'll stick with Michigan 5, Ohio State 4 as we enter the top of the 6th inning, begin the last third of this ball game.
Ohio State's got 6 outs of work left before Michigan takes the lead. They're going to look to put a few more across to give Allison Smith a similar position to what she saw yesterday. came in a position where she was looking for, came in a position where she was in position for the loss. Then Ohio State put a couple more across, and all of a sudden she was in the driver's seat for the win until, of course, the Taylor Bump walk-off. Tell you what, this time of year in Ann Arbor is always a strange sense of like happiness and sadness because, you know, everyone's obviously happy that A, it's getting warm, B, the school year's done, you know, summer vacation is starting, but then also, of course, you know, seniors are leaving, everyone's moving out of their houses. It's, like I said, it's a weird dichotomy.
It's odd, too, because I'm in a residence hall right now. I live in South Quad here as a freshman, and I see people with their blue bins, they're moving out. Parents are coming. They're helping kids move out. I'm out of here a week from yesterday, and I think I'll be back home in Rhode Island for the summer, so I won't be back until August, and it's hard to say goodbye to the city I love so much.
Luckily, I'll be around for the summer, and even more luckily for you all at home, I will be covering plenty more Michigan softball, including the last home series next weekend against the Minnesota Golden Gophers that we mentioned before, and then 2 weeks from then, I will be down in East Lansing, or up in East Lansing rather, for the Big Ten tournament.
Well, I'll be listening. I'll be on the call with Adam Bressler for the baseball series at Maryland. So that should be a fun one, too.
Enough about our summer plans. We are resumed in action. The first pitch to Cami Quartercracks in the top of the 6th inning. A changeup from Alex Storako. That bounces well in front of the plate. Quartercracks 1 for 2 on the day. Had a RBI single and ended up scoring back in the first inning and popped up to the shortstop, Ella Mcveigh, in her last time up. On the 1-1, or 1-0 rather, pops this one up foul over our heads. You can watch it bounce into the parking lot behind us through the back window.
You couldn't see Charlie, but his arm slowly followed the ball's position as it drifted above us, bounced off the press box with a nice thud.
I was just tracking it mentally. 1-1 from Storako. Catches the outside corner, even though it pops out of the glove of Hannah Carson. So now she's ahead in this count, 1-2. Spinning the ball against the right hip in her typical fashion. The windup from Storako on 1-2. Changeup hit down the third base line, but that one's going to go foul.
Ooh, Quartercrack swung a little early and pulled that one left side. It bounced about a foot left of the fair line there. And if she had gotten a piece of that in fair territory, that one might have drifted to the left field corner. She might have been able to get 3. Really well hit ball.
Tell you what, both Cami Quartercracks and Sam Hockenbrack have just been making really, really solid contact so far this game. Storako's 1-2. Again, hit down the third baseline. This one in foul territory, but Ellie Sieler showing off the wheels. Plenty of times to get over and settle under that one for out number 1.
And, of course, she did have that bobble in the first inning, but Ellie Sieler has just been a defensive force out there and left. The freshman coming up strong defensively for the Wolverines, and she's very reliable, can always count on her. And, again, that speed, allowing her to make those outs in foul territory, those are key for the Wolverines. Down 1 now, or with 1 out in the inning, no one on.
Following the Quartercracks pop-up, that will bring up Taylor Pack, the catcher, as she hits this one on a line towards right field, and what a catch from Audrey LeClaire. Tracking that ball right off the bat to her forehand side and diving to make the play in right field.
That was a great slide. Left a mark in the turf, in fact.
Standing ovation for Audrey LeClaire, and the Wolverines are putting on an outfield clinic right now.
Yeah, that's got to feel good. That applause from the crowd here. That was just a fantastic defensive play. I was certain that was going to be a base hit.
2 up and 2 down for the Buckeyes. That'll bring up the center fielder, Maggie Oddie. Great catch in left field to track it down from Sieler for out number 1. The web gem in right from Audrey LeClaire. And now it might just be Christina Burkhart's turn here with 2 outs. Storako taking her time before delivering the 1-0. This one a changeup that's dribbled foul. Oddie 0 for 2. Reached on error her first time up, popped up to center field her last time up back in the 4th. The windup from Storako on 1-1. This one popped up. It has a chance to stay in, but just makes its way over the net. It almost hits a fan. Quick little ricochet scared him a bit.
Some fans stood up after that. He's a little excited about it. I'll bring the count to 1-2.
Storako in position for another quick inning of work here. The 1-2 pitch on the way. This one hit on the ground in the infield. Diving stop by Mcveigh. Throw across the diamond. It won't be in time.
A great stop there by Ella Mcveigh at short. And, you know, we were talking about how the outfield's putting on the clink. Really, it's the whole field. The infield has been strong today. Mcveigh stopped that one from getting through. I don't think that Mcveigh would have gotten through, or gotten to second, rather, on that. However, great hit there from her, and great stop, again, from Ella Mcveigh at short. That ball was a foot over. Might have been able to make that throw in time. She's a great defensive resource for the Wolverines.
So following the infield single from Mcveigh, that would have brought up Caitlin Farley, but the Buckeyes deciding to go with a pinch hitter in Caitlin Kaufman.
2 outs, runner on first. I wonder what the thinking is. Here, of course, Caitlin Farley had a .230 batting average. Kaufman doing better with .325, and both lefties.
First pitch Kaufman's way is a called strike in the outside half. We saw Kaufman in limited capacity yesterday made some real solid contact on Megan Bobian. Hopefully trying to keep that momentum going here against Alex Storako. Again, 1 runner on and Adi with 2 outs. Storako goes right back to that same spot, painting the outside corner. Wind blowing towards center field. You know Kaufman's got the power. She's got a home run on the season as well as 11 RBIs. The 0-2 pitch from Storako. Swung on and missed.
So Kaufman goes down swinging, and Storako retires the side.
Alex Storako decides to do it all herself for out number 3, and that's going to bring us to the bottom of the 6th inning. It's going to be 7, 8, 9 due up. Audrey LeClaire, Ella Mcveigh, and Annabelle Wedra are going to look for a few more insurance runs here in the bottom of the 6th, as Ohio State has just one more chance to tie things up in the top of the 7th. It's going to be Allison Smith to reclaim her spot in the circle. Today's given up only 1 hit and 1 earned run. That 1 hit, of course, being the double.
And Allison Smith will retake the mound. Still no bullpen action for the Buckeyes. So we'll see if the Wolverines can expand their lead here in the bottom of the 6th. Of course, the Buckeyes in the 7th going to need some luck.
Again, the score here at Alumni Field, 5-4, Michigan out in front. The score from directly across the way at Ray Fisher Stadium, the Ohio State Buckeyes are up on the Michigan Wolverines 1-0 in the bottom of the 4th inning.
Still plenty of time over across the pond there. Not really the pond, the one pathway separating the 2 fields.
The 25-foot-long strip of concrete between.
Oh, yeah.
You can call it a pond, I guess. It's up to creative interpretation.
I do really like this complex. I like hearing the echoes of the at-bat announcements over from Ray Fisher, too. Just really increases the baseball ambiance here.
All sorts of attractions going on. They're having a kids run around the bases thing after the game. So if you're at home, you've got about probably half an hour to get here if you want to let your kids run around the bases. They've got what looks to be like a big bounce house bouncy slide over at Ray Fisher. Of course, Owen's favorite Kona Ice truck over there.
Oh, yeah.
On the left-hand side.
Hey, same with Adam Bressler.
Here we go. It's the bottom of the 6th inning, and it's Audrey LeClaire due up first for Michigan. First pitch her way. That one right at her knees, but apparently a little bit too low for James Connor's liking. LeClaire going to look to turn her defense into offense following that web gem in right field that we heard just a few moments ago. She hits this one up the middle and does just that. A line drive single for Audrey LeClaire, and Michigan's got things going on the leadoff single.
So no out. LeClaire will stay on first. Great hit there, just a line drive, one hopping out to the center fielder. And now we'll bring up Ella Mcveigh, the shortstop, who had that great diving catch. Couldn't make the out there.
There is going to be a pitching change for the Buckeyes. So Allison Smith's day is done through 1 2/3 innings, and that will bring up Lexi Hanley. We saw her start and throw most of the game yesterday. Ohio State's going to look to her to try and keep Michigan scoreless here. One runner on in Audrey LeClaire, so Allison Smith will still have that run attributed to her should it cross.
Lexi Hanley takes the mound. Now, I didn't see her warming up. She must have warmed up earlier when the Buckeyes had 2 in the bullpen.
As some cheers for Audrey LeClaire as she dances a little bit.
Some head bobbing on first base. I really like how the Wolverines engage with the crowd here. It really makes the team more personal, too. Although I don't think I've ever talked to one of the softball players. You kind of feel like you get to know them.
I mean, we mentioned Alumni Field is, incredible as it is. It's not a big ballpark. It's very, especially these seats directly behind the dugout. It's a very intimate environment between, the team itself and the fans. Hanley checks around with her infield, and it looks like we are set to go. It's Ella Mcveigh, 8-9, then back to the top of the order. Mcveigh in her last time up, of course, had that double into the right center gap. First pitch her way is a bunt. A beautiful one at that. That's laid down perfectly in front of home plate to advance the runner. Audrey LeClaire ends up on second base, and now Michigan has a runner in scoring position.
And that bunt was just placed perfectly. Plus, with the spin, it stopped short just about 3 feet past home plate. Really well-placed bunt there. And essentially just held steady until it was scooped up, sent to first. That was a close one, too.
Quick stoppage of play for an equipment malfunction in left field. Looks like we are underway now. We had Cordelletti enter as a defensive substitution. First pitch to Annabelle Weidris, high and outside for ball number 1. Again, Michigan just looking to tack on a few insurance runs here. They're in a good position to do so. 1-0 to Weidris, high and outside. The Maize and Blue faithful making an impact here. You can hear clapping their hands and stomping their feet. It gets loud on these metal bleachers.
Oh, the energy they bring to this ballpark, it's really hard to describe.
The 2-0 to Weidris. That one a called strike in the outside corner.
So Lexi Hanley will get her first strike of this at-bat.
We saw Hanley take a few at-bats to settle in yesterday. Could be a similar situation here as Annabelle Weidris fouls off the 2-1. As the Adams family plays from the alumni band, Hanley's going to take her time, now getting her signs.
So 2-2, showing bunt.
Weidris rung up on a beautiful pitch on the outside corner from Hanley. And that's going to be out number 2, which will bring up the top of the order in Christina Burkhart.
That's tough. Lexi Hanley doing what Allison Smith couldn't, just painting those corners of the strike zone.
Burkhart has scored all 3 times she's been up to bat today. Was hit by a pitch in the first inning, hit that triple in the third, and then was walked last inning. And right here in this at-bat, she watches pitch number 1 go by for a called strike.
So Handley, again, really bringing the heat to the Wolverines, throwing strikes that they hadn't seen earlier in this game.
0-1 pitch to Burkhart, missing wide. The sun is completely poked through the clouds now, and it is shining down kindly on Alumni Field.
So the Wolverines, 2 outs, runner on second. Scoring opportunity here with a hit.
The 1-1 pitch to Burkhart. Again, high and outside. Nice job by Taylor Pack to reel it in to keep LeClaire honest at second base.
Burkhart is just a tough hitter to pitch to. That .401 batting average. She'll hit anything down the middle.
2-1 on the way to Burkhart. Pops this one up again. We're going to go 2-2. Lauren Essman is on deck, so she is fully entered for Lexi Blair. Burkhart takes a couple practice hacks. Now we'll step back in. Hanley taking her time. A lefty on lefty matchup here. The windup from Lexi Hanley. Missing wide.
Bring us to a full count. And you know, a credit to the Wolverines offensively. Ohio State, they scored their 4 runs in the first off of 2 errors from the Wolverines. Michigan, they've consistently put runners on base and gotten hits throughout the game.
Full count pitch to Christina Burkhart. Took a half-hearted check swing at it, but well above the zone, so she lays off.
Yeah, it made me nervous for a second. Looked like she was going for it at first.
We're going to have another substitution. Lexi Blair is going to re-enter for Lauren Essman.
So Coach Hutchins over with home plate umpire James Connors making the note.
Again, great speed on the bases. Audrey LeClaire at second, Christina Burkhart at first. 21 stolen bases this season between the two of them.
So Blair re-enters. Hear the cheers of the crowd around her. 1 for 3 today with a .323 average on the season for 17 RBIs. Going to see if she can add to that now. 2 outs, runners on first and second.
First pitch her way. Called strike on the outer half of the plate. Blair 3 RBIs today. 2 of them, of course, coming on that 2 RBI double that we saw in her last time up in the 4th. The 0-1 towards Blair. This one low and in the dirt. Pack keeps it in front of her. LeClaire almost got a little bit overzealous there at second base, but decides to play it safe and head back to the bag. Blair takes a few deep breaths, twists the bat in her hands, and now settles in. The 1-1 pitch on the way. This one, line drive, and what a grab by Quartercracks.
Cami Quartercracks, that's short on top of that right there. Took a few steps, reached out, lunged for it, and she just caught the line drive as it was hit.
That one, the 3rd line drive that Quartercracks has caught deep in the hole between shortstop and third base today.
It looks like the alumni band will go with I Can't Turn You Loose from the Blues Brothers, my favorite Michigan tradition.
Last chance effort here for Ohio State. They're going to have the top of the order due up, and they're going to have to face off against Alex Storako. First due up is Wilkeson, 2 for 3 on the day with 2 doubles. Following her, it will be J.C. Roberti, and after that, it will be Cordelletti. But Storako has looked very, very good through her 3 innings, or through her 5 innings of work. Has let up 3 hits, has 3 strikeouts.
So how far away is she from 250 on the season?
She is 1 strikeout away from 250 strikeouts on the season.
So we'll see if she can hit that milestone today. Apologies for a moment. I got distracted by the Blues Brothers. It's hard to not get into this song. I've decided I am fully on board with the band at baseball and softball games.
I know you were real skeptical about it at the start of this game. But
well, I've just never seen a pep band at a baseball or softball game. I'm fully on board now. Forget the organ. I want the trumpets.
All they had to do was play the Blues Brothers. They could have showed up, just played that song, and then left, and you would have been all in.
The Victors is fully my favorite Michigan tradition, but I Can't Turn You Loose from the Blues Brothers, absolutely my second favorite.
The countdown timer hit 0, and we are set to go. It's the top of the 7th inning. Michigan leads 5-4. Ohio State put up 4 in the top of the 1st inning, but have been scoreless since. Michigan was chipping away at it all game long, and finally Lexi Blair pushed them ahead with a 2-run double. First pitch here in the top of the 7th to Melina Wilkeson is fouled backwards over the net, so Storako is up early.
Just a commentary on fans ducking away from the ball as it comes at them. I don't get why they don't track it and see if it's going to hit them first.
0-1 pitch from Storako, make it 0-2 as she gets Wilkeson to chase upstairs. Storako in the driver's seat here in the 7th.
Just a great pitch going in with the fastball, throwing some heat. And Wilkinson chases it.
Deep breath from Storako now. 0-2 count. Trying to shut down the top of this Buckeye lineup, and she rings up Wilkeson. Great pitch on the outside corner, and make it 250 strikeouts on the season for Alex Storako.
250 for her, and on a 1-2-3 on the top of the lineup for Ohio State. I'm not sure if it gets better than that.
Following the strikeout on Wilkeson, that will bring up J.C. Roberti. First pitch her way, a rise ball that goes way upstairs. Nice job by Hannah Carson to reel it in. Sam Hackenbrack has re-entered for Cordelletti, so she is standing on deck. As Storako freezes J.C. Roberti with a beautiful changeup down the plate.
Oh, that off speed, just right down the middle. And Roberti just didn't know what to do with it.
1-1 count. That one missing low, bobbles out of the glove of Hannah Carson. Couple deep breaths from Storako. Now gets the sign, checks the wristband. Right foot on the rubber. The windup on 2-1. Changeup hits softly on the ground towards Lexi Blair. It's going to be a close play, but Blair with plenty of time. 2 outs now.
So another clean play defensively from the Wolverines. Bring us to 2 outs, no one on still. And fans here are on their feet at Alumni Field.
Alex Storako looking for revenge here. Ohio State got the better of her on Friday in that 6-2 matchup, but she has looked incredible so far through 5 innings. The fans are on their feet here at Alumni Field, and all the energy in the stadium is pointing right at number 8 in the circle. First pitch on the way to Sam Hackenbrack. That one goes upstairs.
It's high, fans on their feet, of course. A home run here can tie this game up. Hackenbrack has knocked 12 out of the park this season, batting with a .364 average. Can Alex Storako put the Buckeyes away?
1-0 count. Again, missing upstairs with the rise ball. Hackenbrack up at the plate. Nikki Carver on deck. A very dangerous duo. Infield playing back, outfield as well. The 2-0 pitch from Sirocco. Beautiful changeup that catches the zone for strike number 1.
So that's Hockenbrock and Roberti now that have been just caught off guard by that down the middle changeup. They don't know what to do with it.
Sirocco checks the wristband again. 2-1 delivery on the way. This one swung on and missed.
That was a big swing from Hockenbrock. Won't make contact with it there. Bring the count to 2-2, and the fans here are excited.
Alex Sirocco, 1 strike away from getting her revenge against the Buckeyes. 2-2 count and 2 outs. Looking for the goodnight pitch. Popped up foul.
That one bounces off the nets, just in front of Sirocco's feet. She'll just pick it right back up. I've heard her called Strock. I've heard her called Rocco now.
The Let's Go Blue chants start again. 2-2 count once more. 2 outs. Again, Alex Sirocco looking for her revenge. The dish on the outside corner, and James Connors says no.
Oh, and the fans aren't happy with that one.
Even Ohio State fans sitting in the stands as we look over just mouthed, wow. That one was about as pretty as they come.
They look confused with that. So full count here with Sam Hockenbrock.
This is the stuff dreams are made of. Full count, 2 outs against your rival. Alex Sirocco delivers, and it's fouled backwards into the net. Ohio State got the better of her again on Friday. Alex Sirocco looking to bounce back here. Full count, 2 outs. Changeup hit on the line, and that one's going to go foul down the third base side.
This is third by just about a foot. It'll actually roll all the way to the wall.
As the cha-cha slide plays to get the fans involved.
Hey, who doesn't love the cha-cha slide?
Very true. Sam Hockenbrock steps back in. Full count, 2 outs. Alex Sirocco delivers, and she strikes her out. Michigan wins the series, and Alex Sirocco gets her revenge. 5-4, Michigan comes out on top and sends the Buckeyes packing.
Buckeyes are driving back to Columbus disappointed. Alex Sirocco puts on a show here at Alumni Field, and Michigan takes the win 5-4 over Ohio State.
What a bounce back game for Alex Sirocco. Ohio State kind of shelled her on Friday, and then she comes in here in relief. Michigan gave Bobby in the start today. Sirocco comes in relief, isn't phased at all, and just puts on an absolute clinic. Surpasses 250 strikeouts for the season and shuts down Ohio State, striking out 2 of 3 in the last inning to end things off here in Ann Arbor.
I don't think there's much more to say than that. Alex Sirocco, like you said, she put on a show. And OSU, they've got some incredibly talented hitters. They just couldn't keep out. Our credit to her, reaching her 250th strikeout of the season. You can hear the team walking by the fans here on the first base side, hyping them up. Like we said, they're very interactive with the fans. Come, make it out to the last homestand of the season if you can. This is a team to watch.
I'm just going to let you all listen. Go blue indeed. I don't think I could have said it better myself. What a game and what a weekend series between the Michigan Wolverines and the Ohio State Buckeyes.
This has just been an incredible game to call. My last call in Ann Arbor for the season, and what a fun one it's been.
I'll still be around, so y'all can suffer through hearing my voice a few more times. But that's going to do it for today. Michigan comes back after Ohio State puts up 4 in the top of the first, keeps them scoreless throughout the rest of the game, and plugs away to come out victorious 5-4. For Charlie Brigham and Owen Crain inside Alumni Field, this has been WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan softball, and we're going to leave you, like we always do, with a good night, or I guess a good afternoon, and a Go Blue.